Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Good evening, friends, and welcome into Memorial Gardens, where the 4th place in the Central Division, Niagara Ice Dogs, come clawing their way into Memorial Gardens to take on the 2nd place North Bay Battalion. This is the Frontline broadcast brought to you by Average Joe's, and welcome to the pregame show.
The pregame show is brought to you by La Huerta Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit lahuertaimports.com for more details.
I am Derek Lindemann, and beside me, Courtney Kenny. Courtney, first time we're going to get to see the Central Division rivalries, the Niagara Ice Dogs. You can't look past them to taking on the Hamilton Bulldogs tomorrow night.
No, and that's exactly it, Derek. One of the things that we talked about is really how much we talked about this on the podcast, rather, I should say, is how the Battalion are going to have a rematch against the Hamilton Bulldogs for the first time since being swept in the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night in Hamilton. But the Battalion are taking on a Niagara Ice Dogs team here, which has a lot of firepower. They're not the same Ice Dogs team that they faced last year, where they were, I don't want to say you can walk over them, but they weren't a great team last year. There was a lot of off-ice turmoil going on with the Ice Dogs. That has now been subsided. They hopefully have some stability up in the front office and ownership. Of course, the great one stepping in to be a part owner of the Ice Dogs, so we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that. But this is going to be a tough game for the Battalion, and of course, again, the last time we did this, it was against a Central Division opponent with the Barrie Colts. It's another big 2 points on the line for the Battalion.
Yeah, and talking about big points, this is the first game of a 3-3. They're going to be at home tonight against Niagara. Go on the road for a pair tomorrow night in Hamilton before a Saturday matchup. They'll be in Erie. How important is it for the North Bay Battalion to get off to a strong start when you have that 3-3?
It's going to be super important. I mean, last weekend we saw them not do a 3-3, but they did a 3-4 through the Western Conference for the first time since before COVID-19, because the only other team in the West they played is the Sioux. It didn't start off well against the Windsor Spitfires, but they were able to rebound with a big win against the London Knights and a big win against the Guelph Storm, although Guelph is sputtering themselves right now. So it almost turned into a disastrous road trip with the way that they played against Windsor, almost getting the barn doors blown off of them. Of course, as we talked with Paul Christopoulos, his brother Alex has the bragging rights right now in that matchup. So for the Battalion to get off to a big start here, it's imperative, because then you can go into the weekend or into the second game knowing you've already secured 2 points, whereas last weekend they went into the London game maybe gripping their sticks a little bit tighter in what is already promising to be a big game in London, because they already went 0 on their first attempt to get points. So they can pick up 2 points here against Niagara Ice Dogs, hopefully pick up, they can feasibly go through this weekend and pick up 6 points. So hopefully you start off right here with 2.
It is a big night. The Battalion are coming in off of 2 big wins last weekend, most recently the 4-3 win against Guelph. But on the other side of the coin is the Niagara Ice Dogs. They're coming in with losing their last 5 games, and their last game was last Friday night, and they got thumped by the Windsor Spitfires 11-3. So Niagara's coming in here hungry.
Yeah, we talk about the Battalion not having a good showing against the Windsor Spitfires. I guess Niagara, they might be able to relate with the troops a little bit on that one, but a little bit worse, I would say. That's a score you almost see in the NOJHL. I mean, I think I saw the other day Blind River took it to French River like 10-0 or something. So that's usually a score you see down in that league. So as they say, point night for the Windsor Spitfires. A couple of nights in a row there, but against the Battalion and the Ice Dogs. So, but these Ice Dogs, yeah, again, like you mentioned, they're kind of spinning their wheels a little bit, but they do have some firepower, so they're not a team to be taken lightly for sure.
And when we're talking about their firepower, let's get right to it and listen to see who our players to watch are tonight. Brought to you by Mike the Financial Guy.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
First player to watch tonight is for the Niagara Ice Dogs. Aiden Castle currently leading the team in goals, 7 goals, and top in points with 13. And on the flip side, Matvey Petrov, our player to watch for the North Bay Battalion, is coming in on an 8-game point streak. Courtney, let's first talk about the sophomore, Aiden Castle. He's right up there with the top scorers, leading the Ice Dogs with 13 points.
Yeah, and Aiden Castle's a bit of an interesting story, because it's not usual that you see first-rounders spurn the Oshawa Generals, but he did that. He was drafted in the first round by Oshawa, didn't want to go there. They traded his rights to Niagara. He signed immediately. He maybe didn't have the season that the Ice Dogs wanted him to have last year, but he got his feet wet in the league, and now he's off to a great start this year. And then on the flip side, I mean, we talk about Matvey Petrov, and we talk about how he needs to shoot more. Well, he scored a couple of goals now in the last few games, so he's starting to look like the Matvey Petrov of old, and he's leading the team in points right now.
But I want to talk about Petrov in this 8-game point streak.
Yes.
On the point streak, he's got 2 goals, 7 assists for 9 points. We're not seeing him score like we did. He's leading with the assist this time.
He is, and which is funny, because we always hear, as us demoralized and demented Leaf fans, we always hear Mitch Marner talk about, I'm going to shoot more this year. I'm going to shoot more and become a dual threat instead of people just thinking of me to pass. Well, Matvey Petrov's now become a dual threat, because instead of people thinking he's going to shoot, he might be inclined to pass the puck off. Whereas last year, Brandon Coe got a lot of assists by sending it cross ice to him. Ty Nelson got a lot of assists by sending it cross ice on the power play to Matvey Petrov. So Matvey Petrov's looking at it and saying, I don't have a Coe this year. I do have a Ty Nelson, but I don't have a Brandon Coe. Maybe I need to step into that role and be the primary setup guy.
And it's just weird how we talk about how strong Matvey Petrov is. But let's turn our attention now to the North Bay Battalion lineup. When I'm writing the lineups out here on the whiteboard behind me, I'm thinking, what did Ryan Oulahan do tonight? Did he just put the forwards in a blender and pull out 3 names? Because we're not going to see anyone really familiar playing together.
No, except for we do get this on the second line, Van Steensel, Arnsby, and McDonald. That was the second line last year to end the season, and he went with that line in London. I don't know if he went with that line in Windsor, but he started that with that line in London. But, I mean, talk about it. I mean, Ertl's come on real strong, and now he's on that top line with Jackson. Romani, who was on a fourth-line staple last year, is on that top line. So, like you mentioned right there, lines 1, 3, and 4 just seems like, again, he just dropped it in a blender and said, all right, let's see what we have. And to say that you got a guy like Ertl, Jackson, Romani on your top line, and then you got Petrov, Wakely, and Tarasevich on your third line, it's a dangerous Battalion team.
It is. I really like that third line with Wakely between Petrov and Tarasevich. And just the one player that's missing out of that group, Michael Podolou still out with that injury,
Yeah.
but we're going to be without Ethan Precision, who's gone to the World U17 representing Team Canada Red. So we're going to be without him for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, which is, you know what, usually, and this is going to sound really bad, but in years past with the way the Battalion drafted, it wasn't really a big loss to lose your former first rounder. Ethan Processions had a great start to his season, and, for him to be gone for the next couple of weeks, along with the loss of Michael Podolou for now, that's a big loss for the Battalion, and really is going to play on the depth. As we see, they only have 3 full lines out there. They don't have a centerman on that 4th line right now. And that means that Terrien is going to play a lot as well. He's been a healthy scratch here and there. We haven't seen Bouchard yet at home. I thought he had a good showing with the troops last year. He's played a couple of games before Kyle McDonald came back this year as well. And we're going to see Turley on the back end as well. So they're going to be dressing 7 defensemen.
Yeah, talking about that back end again, mixing up the matchup. Getting it on that top unit is Nelson, now with Lucan and Winslow Christos taking that number 2 spot. So it's just weird to see that combination. And 7D, how is Scott Ray, who handles the D, going to mix up those 7D into the lineup?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, we talked with Paul Christopoulos this week where we talked about, one of the questions we asked is, you played up and down with everybody on this D now, so what's it like? Well, he's playing with Avery Winslow, who's usually playing with Ty Nelson. I think Winslow's had a great start to the season along with Ty Nelson, so maybe they're just looking to stretch out that offense a little bit on the back end. But Lucan has also had a good start. I thought he had a really good game here against Barrie. And I asked Ryan Houlihan about that, and he said, there's going to be growing pains still, of course. That's what this league is all about. But he's been impressed with the way that Lucan's responded, considering he became a healthy scratch in the 2nd round last year during the playoffs and didn't see much ice time after that.
No, and I know we got to talk with Paul Christopoulos the other night on the podcast. You can catch that. We'll have a little tidbit of that interview during the first intermission. But we talked about the involvement in the community. This week alone, I've seen on their social media that they had the Halloween night on October 31st. I've seen that they're back in the schools. They were at Mother St. Bride's yesterday, and just getting back into the community. How important is it for the Battalion to be that presence out there in North Bay?
It's huge. I mean, we heard it right from Paul Christopoulos how, this is what he thought he was signing up for when he got drafted into the OHL, and then, of course, didn't really get much exposure because his rookie season was shortened because of COVID-19, missed his entire sophomore year because of COVID, and then last year they couldn't do too much because of the restrictions until later on in the year. So it's good to see the Battalion back. I think we've seen that affect the attendance a bit too as they're back in the public conscience of the city, as opposed to just here's a hockey team that's doing really well. Nobody really wanted to come out. Also, COVID-19, post-COVID-19 hesitancy, I'm sure, helped with some of the issues of putting butts in seats. But, it's really good to see the Battalion out there finally getting the word out, and that it's not just kind of on our word of mouth that the Battalion are getting out there and us showing the value of going to see the Battalion. So the Battalion are really helping out with that by themselves by being able to go out in the community now.
Let's turn our attention to the 2 starting goaltenders, both 04 birth years, going head-to-head. Let's look at the Niagara Ice Dogs starting goaltender first, Owen Flores. Probably the number 2 goaltender for Niagara, but he's getting the start tonight for the Ice Dogs.
Well, you got to show something, right? You got to show to the guys that, hey, we got to get a jump start. So maybe that's why they're going with him after a week off. They're going with the backup. So it's kind of maybe that's a bit of a wake-up call to the rest of the Ice Dogs, and he doesn't have great numbers, but in this league, any goaltender can steal a game any night of the year. So we saw it with Charlie Robertson. He was able to turn it around against Guelph, and the Battalion came back and clamped down really well on that one. But I mean, just talking about his numbers, he has 2s across the board, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 overtime losses. 483 goals against, which isn't a great goals against at all, and an 861 save percentage, which if we're talking about not a great goals against, that's not a great save percentage.
No, but when you look at the flip side, Dom DiVincentis, who's getting the start again for the North Bay Battalion, who has been riding that number 1 seed, is getting back in the goal. He suffered the loss last week in the Windsor before rebounding with that 4-3 victory over the London Knights. he'll be back in goal tonight against the Ice Dogs.
Yeah, and his numbers have taken a bit of a hit too since the last time we saw him here, but that's mostly because of that game against Windsor. He has an .890 save percentage now. The last time we saw him, it was in the 920s. So, but it's also early season, and those numbers fluctuate a lot in the early season before you get more shots against you. But he has a 283 goals against, which isn't far off of what he had for goals against last year, and he's 6-3. So, my bet's on. 9 nights out of 10, I'm going with Dom DiVincentis in that.
Exactly. And let's talk about that photo that you found online, that net cam photo. What a brilliant advantage to see that net cam of Dom DiVincentis making that save in London.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see the look in his face as he's looking behind him, because as you know, any goaltender, when they look behind them, it's almost out of sheer panic. But DiVincentis, making the save in London, and really got a petition getting net cams here in North Bay, because not only does it look great with photos like that, but then you get to more decisive decision on the goal reviews and stuff to see if the puck actually crossed the line. Over the net is good for some angles. Shoulder cam is not good at all for goal reviews. So net cams here in North Bay. I'm not a rich person, but I will put money towards it.
I have a really nice picture in my den downstairs. It's a goal cam of Andrew Shaw scoring the overtime winner against the Boston Bruins, and what a great shot that is from that goal cam net, and it's just unbelievable. Well, Courtney, we're set up for this game as the Niagara Ice Dogs come into town to take on the Central Division rivals, North Bay Battalion. When we come back on the flip side, we'll have Matt Sukram join you, Courtney, for the call of this first period.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Quand on va se porter les pays, il se
welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens as we get ready for Battalion hockey here against Central Division rival, the Niagara Ice Dogs. Again, a huge thank you to Derek Lindemann for taking us through the pregame show. We're just going to get ready to go here momentarily after they get the carpets off the ice and, of course, the big inflatable tank. So just to give you a bit of a preview, this might be a game with a bit of a edge to it. So here's some special teams numbers for you. The Ice Dogs have the 4th best ranked power play in the league. They've scored 10 goals on 39 attempts, 25.6%. Whereas the Battalion are at the 10th ranked power play at 21.4%, 9 goals for 42 chances. However, on the penalty kill, we see a big discrepancy here as the Ice Dogs are 17th ranked penalty kill at 72.7%. They've allowed 15 goals on 55 attempts, whereas the Battalion are 9th at 80%, 9 goals against on 45 attempts. And of course, here's Mr. Matt Sukram, who will be giving us the call on the game. And Matt, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks so much, Courtney. Great to be here in Memorial Gardens for another exciting evening of Battalion hockey. The troops are coming in after what was a really good weekend, I think, down on a western swing. They lost that opening game to Windsor, but bounced back with big wins over London and Guelph, and now they're looking to see if they can carry that back over to the home ice here against, as you said, a Central Division rival in the Niagara Ice Dogs. The puck is dropped, and we are underway. Denisio drops it back into his own zone, then lost it on the pass back across. Now he receives it again, sends it to the near side to David Jesus, who sends it down the right side to Femus. Pass across the left side to Copeland. Copeland's shot comes in, and DiVincentis makes the stop. His first of the game, just 20 seconds in. DiVincentis off to a good start this season. 6-3-0 with 2.83 goals against average and an .890 save percentage.
Yeah, you know what? Those numbers looked a little bit better the last time the troops were in town. But of course, being early season, that loss in Windsor really kind of took down his save percentage. But his goals against, still sterling.
McDonald down the ice, dishes it off to the right side, into the middle of Van Steensel, and it redirects off his stick into the near side corner. Chasing it over there is Winslow. He can't corral the puck, and it comes out to the neutral zone. Played up ahead to Arnsby as North Bay dumps it back in. Around to the far side boards, Copeland will have it for the Ice Dogs. 19-12 to go in the first period. No score between the Battalion and the Ice Dogs. The puck is inside the Niagara zone as the Ice Dogs try to clear it, and they do. This will go the length of the ice, but icing will be waved off as getting the puck is Nelson. He flips it around off the end boards to Lucan, who gets it up to Ertl. Ertl fires it up ahead, caught by Romani coming in. Took a little bit too much time before he tried to get the shot off, and that allowed the Ice Dogs to strip him of the puck and move it down the other way. Coming in the zone, one-on-one, drags it to the right side. The backhanded shot is stopped, but on that move, the arm went up, and the rookie, Kevin He, has just drawn a power play for his team. The Ice Dogs will get the man advantage as Lucan goes to the box.
Yeah, Lucan will be in the box on that new look top pairing for the Battalion of Nelson and Lucan. So, but I thought it was a good effort for Lucan to get back into the play and try to stop that, although he did have Nelson as secondary there, defenseman. But unfortunately taking the penalty here.
There's a shot right in, and DiVincentis makes the save. The Battalion can't clear. Another shot comes in. That one's directed off of Christopoulos' stick and off the glass. North Bay control the puck, and they get it out of the zone on the dump out. Down the ice, they had control briefly into the zone. Poke check made, it's off the stick, and now Christopoulos brings it right back in. He plays it behind the net to Wakely. Wakely going into the corner, can't hold it there, and coming out of that corner is Aiden Castle for the Ice Dogs. He drops it back, now it's across to Femus. Femus coming down the left wing side. Played in the end boards. Christopoulos is there. He gets it to the line. Castle keeps it in the zone for the Ice Dogs. Plays it down low. Femus pass in front, and that's blocked. He gets it back out. Try to get to Zito, but it's past his stick and sent all the way down the ice. 1:05 to go on the power play. Sirizotti sends it up ahead. Zito tries to backhand it in towards the net. That's deflected behind the net. Picked up back there by Arnsby. Plays it to the far side corner. That's McDonald there for North Bay, but he can't clear it as Castle keeps it in. He gives it to Sirizotti on the right side. His shot is blocked. The puck comes over the line, and Keane has to come out of the zone with it. 17:25 remaining in the first period. No score, and there's 40 seconds remaining on the Niagara power play. They control it inside the neutral zone. Bad pass there as McDonald steals it for the Battalion, and he dumps it right down the ice. Played behind the net by Flores. The goaltender for the Ice Dogs gives it up to Jesus, and he travels down the ice with it, dumping it in. DiVincentis stops it behind the net, lost it, but recovers it quickly, although the Battalion can't get it out of the zone. Kept in at the line, shot in, that's blocked, and now the Battalion get out of the zone with it. They got 3-on-1 the other way. Down the right wing side, the shot comes in. Save made by Flores, and a hold on to it for stoppage and play. And after the whistle, there's a hard hit behind the net as Sema goes down, and the Ice Dogs are going to erase the remaining 9 seconds of their power play. Going into the box is Rodwin Dinicio. And so the Battalion will have an abbreviated minute 51 power play.
I thought at first that they were going to give Sema a diving call, just the way that it looked like they reacted. But I mean, from up here, it's hard to tell who they're pointing at when they're down in the corner. But that's just the way it looked. But we'll see the Battalion go to work here on the league's 10th best ranked power play.
Well, the league's 4th ranked best power play wasn't able to generate much. And now we'll see the other one go to work. It's Nelson. To the left side, half boards to Petrov. Petrov holds it, plays it down to the blue line to Nelson. Across to the right side circle, now to Petrov. Down low, right in front of the net, they score! The Troops take an early 1-0 lead. Ba-da-ba-ba-bum, loving it as Kyle McDonald puts it into the net.
Oh my God, I can't do. I'm not going to make it through the year with you. It's such a terribly good goal call. I love it. Oh my goodness. Free sponsor mention as well to McDonald's. So hey,
there you go.
We'll give it to them on that. Maybe we should go to them and be like, look at all the extra sponsorship you're getting this year. Kyle McDonald right there on the doorstep is a nice little nifty one-touch pass by Matvey Petrov into the crease area. And the puck got around to him, so that's going to help the power play numbers for sure. As Kyle McDonald, once again, proving that he's very dangerous and has a nose for the net.
That is Kyle McDonald's 5th goal in his 7th game here this season. Now Jackson down the right wing side. Jackson stops at the top of the circle, plays it to the middle, the shot, scores! Jacob Terrien gets his first career OHL goal, and Kyle Jackson has his 100th career OHL point on the assist.
How about that? Jacob Terrien, who hasn't been in the lineup very much, but he's in and out of circumstances, even for sections away at the U17 tournament. And Michael Podolou still injured, so he is out there. And he's playing with a bit of a different look line as him and Sema don't have a centerman right now. So Jackson was out there on that extra shift. And quickly the Battalion make it 2-0 as they have 2 goals on their, first 4 shots on the game here in this one.
So how about that? Jacob Terrien, like you said, hasn't been into the lineup much, but making good on that play. And so the Battalion, who gave up the early power play, have come right back, scored a power play goal of their own, and then scored right after immediately on the 5-on-5 to make it 2-0, 15:30 to go here in the first period. Stolen in the zone, he centers it to Zito, but it's stopped by DiVincentis. Out of the zone with it, Wakely coming down the right wing side. Wakely fires it in, blocker save made by Flores, and kept away by the Niagara defense. Coming down the ice is Kevin He gives it to Zito on the right side boards. Back in the corner for He. It's knocked off his stick, picked up by Wakely behind the net, and Wakely drops it back there for Nelson. The defenseman for the North Bay Battalion brings it forward now. Down the ice. Sends it back to the blue line. Nelson battling at the half boards. The puck comes up to the line, and the Ice Dogs can't hold it in. They travel back all the way to their own zone. And now it's up on the far side half boards with 14:35 to play in this first period. 2-0 is the score for North Bay. The puck comes away from that area, and the Ice Dogs try to move it down the ice. They get stopped at the line
Ertl's trying to go into the zone. He stops on the left side half board. Centers it to Romani. The shot. Glove save made by Flores. And that was a big one for him to steal away there.
Yeah, you can't go around. You can't go down 3-0 this early in the game. And what a great save by Flores. And I just want to point out something for the baseball fans at home. Whenever I hear Pascal Zito, I think of Oakland Athletics legend and San Francisco Giants pitcher Barry Zito. So it's just throwing me back to the early 2000s here, Moneyball. Every time you say Zito going down the ice, it's like, wait a sec, we're in the wrong sport.
Playback underway. Puck inside the Ice Dog zone. Off the boards. Christopoulos coming in. Fires it over the glass and out of play. Paul Christopoulos was your guest on the Frontline podcast this week, where you can like, share, subscribe now, and download it wherever you get your favorite podcast. And we'll also hear from him later on in this broadcast.
Yeah, the last time we had Paul Christopoulos on, this is how long ago it was. The podcast was called 5 for Chirping. So it had been a while, and at that point in time, it was him and his twin brother, Alex Christopoulos. And funny little story from that one. They didn't use their video feature, so I didn't know which one was answering my questions when I'd ask them questions.
So they weren't sitting in the same room.
No, they were together on the same Zoom account, but they didn't have their video on.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. All right, playback underway, and like we said, we'll hear from Paul Christopoulos later on in this broadcast. And it's Christopoulos bringing it down the left wing side, and he gets it up to the blue line and dumps it down the ice. Christopoulos got his first goal of the season last weekend in that game against the Guelph Storm. Big hit in the middle of the ice. Down goes Avery Winslow, and the puck comes out of the zone. 13:30 to play in the first period. It's 2-0 for the North Bay Battalion. Kyle McDonald and Jacob Therrien, the goal scorers for North Bay in this one. It goes into the near side quarter. Zito throws a hit. Has he even come off for a shift yet? It's picked up by McDonald in the corner, and he comes down the left wing side. Kyle McDonald over the blue line to Van Steezel. Sends it in front, deflected by Arnsby, and it goes wide of the net. Arnsby picks it up behind the net. Sends it to the point to Lucan. Across to the right side. The shot comes in. Deflected off the stick and into the corner. Now on the near side, it's McDonald again. McDonald leaves it there for Van Steensel. Van Steensel tries to find McDonald below the circle. He can't get it there, and now it comes out of the zone. Down the ice. It's pushed ahead. Chasing it into the zone is Hull. Knocked off his stick and back out to the neutral zone. 12:40 to play in the first period. 2-0 North Bay. McDonald throws a hit, knocking over Evan Klein, and the puck ends up back inside the Niagara zone, but is held behind the net by David Jesus. Jesus with just one goal through his first 12 games, although he does have 7 assists on the season. He's being looked at to be a real big player for the Niagara Ice Dogs this year. It's sent down the ice. The Battalion get it out of the zone, turn it over at the blue line. Coming back in is LeBanc. Pass across the right side. Jesus coming in. The shot right in on net. DiVincentis didn't know where it was. Caught up somewhere in his paraphernalia, and he'll find it and hold on to it for a stoppage in play. 12:07 to go. 2-0 North Bay.
Gee, you know what would have been great? Net cams. I talked about it on the pregame show with Derek. We need to make net cams a reality here in North Bay. Another thing that we talked about on the pregame show as well, really is the play of DiVincentis of late, and he's looked good for the Battalion in every game that we've seen here in person. And just a note on your Zito comment, does he come off the ice? He's back out there again, or rather he's not, but just like his counterpart with the Oakland Athletics, he's a workhorse.
Through the neutral zone, Nelson skating down with speed, drags it around, goes to the left side, and runs out of real estate as he has to carry it into the corner, but he flips it off the boards to the far side. It's picked up over there by Sema. He tries to skate to the middle. It's knocked off his stick, and LeBanc, that's Jacob LeBanc, who's out there with his twin brother Andrew LeBanc, and he sends it down the ice. Sent in front of the net. Michaud deflects it just wide in front of DiVincentis. 11:20 to play in the first period. 2-0 lead for the North Bay Battalion as Andrew LeBanc has it on the far side, playing it in behind the net. Flips it to the half boards on the far side. Trying to get it out is Petrov, and he does. Drops it back for Jackson. Kyle Jackson moving through the neutral zone. It's knocked off his stick, picked up by Keane. Jared Keane gets it down the right wing side for Michaud, and he dumps it into the near side corner in the North Bay zone. That's where Govro has it. He plays it behind the net to Christopoulos, and as he touches the puck, the net comes loose, and so we'll have a stoppage in play. 11 minutes to go in the first. 2-0 North Bay lead. I was talking to Niagara Ice Dogs play-by-play guy Ted Lehman, and He said, over the summer I was running some numbers. Average number of penalties in a North Bay Niagara game, 8.
Really?
And we've already had 2 of them.
Well, looks like we're on track to at least get to that as well in this one. And it's worked out for the Battalion so far on the power play. Not so much for Niagara, but either way, we'll have to see if special teams continues to play a factor.
North Bay bring the puck out of the zone. Tarasevich down the right wing side, dumps it in. Jesus clears it quickly out to the neutral zone. Skating in. That is, I believe that's Femus. There it is. And he sends it on net. There's a chance, but denied as Copeland was right on the doorstep, but he couldn't get the shot directed towards Steven Chentis. Out to the neutral zone. Petrov going in. Petrov sends it to the right side to Jackson. To the middle, to the left side, in the circle. Jackson centers it, bouncing puck, and Nelson could bury it. To the left side, the shot, Petrov. His shot is blocked. In front of the net, check that was Tarasevich, not Nelson, out there. That was right on the doorstep. It went off his stick and wide of the net as Niagara cleans the puck up and sends it down the ice. But Nikita Tarasevich, just 3 goals on the season for Tarasevich, but he has looked like he could score in every game that he is out there for the troops this season. Lukin brings the puck all the way into the Niagara zone. The big man, the big D man, in deep in the Niagara zone, trying to hold the puck back there. Takes about 3 guys to get it away from him, and the Ice Dogs do clear. Up the ice, it's he gets around Winslow, right in on net, and DiVincentis stops it with the pads, and then pounces on it outside the blue paint. We've reached the halfway point, 2-0 through the first.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
One thing about the Battalion that they've been prone to do in the few home games that we've been able to see, is allow those odd man rushes into the zone or even breakaways. And all I can say is that they're very lucky to have a guy like Dom DiVincentis in net who's able to bail them out more often than not. On the bright side, if it ever gets to a shootout, you got to be pretty confident in DiVincentis' ability to put away the opposing team. One other thing I wanted to talk about, Derek and I did touch on it, but one thing that we're seeing from last year is head coach Ryan Houlihan has reunited that second line from last year of Van Steensel, Arnsby, and McDonald. He did so last weekend when they were on the road through the West, through Windsor, London, and Guelph. And it's the same lineup here again tonight. And so far, although McDonald got on the power play, they've looked pretty dangerous on a few chances.
Yeah, they certainly have. I was going to say the other thing that I've noticed from what got cleaned up in the game against Windsor, between the game against London and now into this one for DiVincentis, is that rebound control is there. It seemed like every time Windsor got a shot, is sent down the ice, and it will be icing against North Bay right out of the mid-period break. It seemed like every time Windsor got a shot on DiVincentis, that puck was then bouncing right back into the slot area, and you can only fault DiVincentis for so much because that's when your defense needs to come in and bail you out, and it didn't work to the tune of 6 goals against. But the Battalion definitely owned that third period, only allowing Windsor to get 2 shots on net, and the Battalion did score 2 goals in that third period, and I think that's what helped propel them to win the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, and that was a pretty intense game against London too, especially in the last few minutes with a 6-on-3 that they had to kill off for the last 14-15 seconds of the game.
Playback underway as the Ice Dogs bring it down. It's Cirizzotti on the right wing side, drops it to the middle. It misses everybody's stick. Nelson picks it up on the far side boards and clears it down the ice. 9 minutes to go in the first period. 2-0 is the lead for the North Bay Battalion. It's held behind the Niagara net by Jesus on that, and he gives it to the far side. Plays back across to the right wing. Andrew LeBanc can't get in the zone, and now North Bay goes the other way, and they will actually go offside. LeBanc got a stick up in the mouth, and so he is slowly going to the bench. Nope, now he'll turn around and stay on the ice, but there was no call there. So North Bay might have gotten away with that one.
May have, for sure. And one thing I just wanted to highlight, you talk about Nikita Tarasevich, and he's somebody that Adam Dennis said is somebody that they expect to take a bit of a step this year because he's always in the right positions as the Battalion with Paul Christopoulos with a nice defensive stop on that one.
Nolan Dan went right down the middle, tried to get through 2 D guys, and Christopoulos made a good job, made a nice stop on the back check. Now Ertl into the zone. He takes a shot. That gets blocked and sent into the North Bay zone. Winslow catches up to it and plays it down his left side boards. Ertl can't clear it at the line. Michaud keeps it in. Takes a shot. Winslow gets down and blocks that one, but it goes to the blue line. Jesus takes a shot. That gets blocked by Romani, and now Romani steals it going the other way. Romani comes into the zone, can't get around the defender Rebo, but he goes in the corner, gives it to Jackson. Jackson tried to get it to the blue line. It's redirected off his stick and cleared out of the zone. 7:50 to go in the first period. 2-0 North Bay lead. Kennedy on the far side. Gets it up to Sema, and Sema punches it down the ice. Picked up on the back end by Rebo. Played across to Jesus on the near side, and he will send it down the ice. Racing towards it is Kennedy, and Kennedy, who got his first goal of the season, is able to get it up to Sema. Kennedy scored in that game against Windsor, it was, in the opening game of that Western swing. Sent into the North Bay zone. Check that into the Niagara zone, and Niagara clears it, getting it past the stick of the North Bay defender set up at the blue line. Brought down by Klein on the right wing side. Dumps it in the corner. Nelson picks it up. Sends it back around on the near side to Sema. Sema tries to play it through the middle. It's up on the stick of Nelson coming in one-on-one. And they're saying Terrien was just a step offside. 6:55 remaining in the first. 2-0 North Bay.
Just to finish my previous thought, Nikita Tarasevich, they picked him, and I asked Adam Dennis, why do you pick a guy, or why do you hone in on a guy to think that he's going to have a breakout year? And he says, Tarasevich is a guy who's always in the right spots. He's always set up well for offense. We've seen it in this game with a couple of chances for him. And him and Ertl both had games in back-to-back games against Windsor and London. So we've seen Ertl come alive, and we've seen Tarasevich come alive a little bit as well.
Playback underway inside the North Bay zone. Into the corner, picked up, sent across the left side. The one-time shot is denied by DiVincentis. Played to the far side boards. Tarasevich knocked down. Niagara keeps the puck alive. Copeland plays it to the boards. Sent down around to the side of the net. Picked up there. Centered, but Tarasevich gets in the way and picks off the pass, and he'll move up to the blue line and dump it down. Coming in on the forecheck, the Battalion send in Petrov, but he can't hold the puck behind the net. Goes to the corner on the far side. That's Wakely there. Wakely played behind the net to Petrov. Petrov battling on the end boards, looking for Tarasevich. Tarasevich gets it to Wakely in the left side circle. Gives it back to Tarasevich. Switches spots. The shot save made by Flores. It goes to the far side. Jesus gets the puck on that side. Carries it behind the net. Now sent around to the near side to Rebo, and Rebo carries it down his right wing. 5:50 to go in period number 1. 2-0 North Bay lead. It's Kennedy behind his own goal line. Sends it up to Van Steensel. Down the right wing side for Arnsby. Arnsby dumps it down the ice. Gets it into the corner for McDonald. Kyle McDonald tries to center it. That gets blocked by Zito. And the Ice Dogs are able to clear it. It's He coming down the left wing side. He sends it in towards the net. DiVincentis bobbled it a little bit, then recovered, found it on the blue paint, and he'll hold on to it for a stoppage and play. That was a weird one.
I was just going to say that was a really weird look for DiVincentis, and that was a bit of a sharp angle shot too that came and got him. And one thing I wanted to mention about Kyle McDonald that he told us on the podcast, again, if you're not subscribed, you can wherever you find your favorite podcast. But on the Frontline podcast, when we had him on a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned that defending in the OHL and is a little bit tougher as there's so much more of a frenzy at this level, whereas in the AHL or that level, everyone's kind of in the right spot, so you know where they're going to be at any given time for the most part.
There's a turnover. Sirzotti plays it back, but stolen by Arnsby. Gets it up ahead to McDonald. McDonald coming through the neutral zone. Played on the left side corner, looking for Van Steensel, but Jesus breaks up the play. Tries to get it out. McDonald steals it back. Sends it to the left side. Van Steensel can't get a stick on it. Now he does on the boards. Plays it in behind the net for McDonald. He carries it down the near side boards. Then sends it to the far side. Looking to get to the stick of Jackson. He finds it in the hash marks. Turns back and goes into the corner. Goes back and sends it to the point to Nelson. Nelson takes a shot, save made. Rebound chance denied. Third chance is stopped as well, as Flores does a good job to make sure that McDonald cannot squeeze that one under the pads. Play back up high in the zone. Govro pushes it back in the corner. The Battalion will get some fresh legs out on the ice as Niagara looks to bring the puck out of the zone. That's Zito up to the line. Plays it back and now dumped down the ice. And the Battalion will chase the puck. It's Christopoulos who gets to it first. Sends it up ahead to Ertl. Ertl deflects it into the zone. Picked up quickly by the Ice Dogs. It's LeBanc who sends it up ahead down the right wing side and deflected into the North Bay zone. DiVincentis behind his net. Gets knocked down. Lost his stick. He's back in the net. The Ice Dogs trying to get a shot off. That is Dan with a shot. Save made by DiVincentis without a stick. And the Battalion turn it over again at the blue line. Coming in on 2-1 is Dan. He gets knocked down on a great defensive play by Christopoulos, who feeds it up to Jackson, and now he finds Romani going the other way. Romani into the attacking zone, takes a shot, it's blocked. 3:15 to play in the period. 2-0 North Bay lead. Ertl has it. Behind the net, Ertl knocked down. Arm goes up. Penalty being called for tripping. And just waiting to see who it's against because both guys went down there. But it looks like it will be against the Niagara Ice Dogs with 3:10 remaining in the period.
DiVincentis, not only was he knocked down and his net, stick was behind the net was off by about a foot on both moorings as well. And there was no whistle. So after they skated down the ice, I only noticed once he vacated the net to go pick up his stick. But you could see white paint between the goal line and the net on both posts. So the Battalion lucky here to get a power play now to get out of that situation.
North Bay 1 for 1 on their power play so far. Romani has it off the draw on the right wing side. Romani moving in, tries to center it to Arnsby, but is blocked by a bunch of sticks in the area. They get the puck to the point. That is kept in the zone by Winslow. Played into the corner for Arnsby. The captain dishes it off to Romani under the circle. Back up high to Winslow. Winslow moving to the left side. That's Wakely there. He plays it down low to Tarasevic, who carries it to the corner. Trying to play it back up high. Wakely lifted his stick, trying to control the puck, but it went right under him, and it's sent down the ice. 1:20 to go on the North Bay power play. 2:30 to go in the period. It's 2-0 North Bay. The puck is sent down the right wing side for McDonald to Wakely, coming in, he scores! Dahlin delivers! It's a second power play goal for the Battalion, and the lead 3-0.
Dallin Wakely himself playing through a heavy heart this week as there's a loss in the family. So good to see him get that goal, and he always seems to deliver in moments like this, be it Indigenous Youth Day when he's the focal point, scoring a goal. Now after a big loss in his family, scores a goal. Dallin Wakely is just a big-time player, and you know that's got to feel good for the family. As he wanted to play through this loss, is what I was told. He's obviously here right now in this game, and the Battalion are happy that he is as he pushed the troops up 3-0. And what more good things can I say about Dallin Wakely?
His fourth goal of the season.
New goalie as well for Niagara.
And Josh Rosenzweig has come into the net now as Flores allowed 3 goals on the first 11 shots he faced, and the only 11 shots he's going to face in this game. Playback underway. Nelson trying to get the puck out of the zone. Jackson in the neutral zone gets the puck. Coming in, he takes a hit as he plays it up to Terrien on the left wing side. Terrien goes into the zone behind the net. Down the right wing side, he plays it to the corner to Sema. Sema switches spots, plays it to the half boards. Coming in, the shot save made by the goaltender Flores. Dallin Wakely with his 24th career OHL goal on that last one for the Battalion. Playback underway as it's sent down into the North Bay zone on the far side boards. Arnsby gets the puck out of the area and it's sent down the ice, but it will be icing called against North Bay with 1:25 to go in the first period. 3-0 North Bay lead.
Another thing we touch on Wakely's 24th career OHL goal. I mean, we talk about his point total last year. Yeah, he had 20 goals and 14 assists. Kind of more looking like a pitcher when it comes to the win-loss category. But, it's just remarkable to me that nobody took a flyer on this kid with a draft pick in the NHL. He did go to Ottawa's main camp this year, so maybe that gained some traction. But already 4 goals in 12 games, he's off to a good start.
I think he should follow Ryan Reynolds on Twitter, and maybe he'll get another invite back.
Yeah.
Coming down the right wing side, that is Tarasevic going into the corner now. Tarasevic drops it off. Coming in is Winslow, wide open! And his shot gets stopped by Rosenzweig off his glove and out of play. It actually might have gone off the stick of Nolan Dan. He might have just gotten his stick in the way just in time, but a nice rush there into the zone by Winslow on a great set of pass there coming into the zone.
Excuse me. And that's another thing about Avery Winslow this year. He was slowed a little bit with a hip issue last year. So we didn't see the offensive capabilities that we kind of saw in his first little go-around with the Troops before the pandemic. But he's really looking like the Avery Winslow of old when it comes to joining the rushes and activating himself as he's grabbing the puck again in the offensive zone for the Troops.
At the line is Christopoulos with the puck. He feeds it over to Arnsby in the middle, but it's knocked away from him by Femus. And Femus skates out of the zone. 3-on-2 the other way for Niagara. Trying to play it back up to Femus ahead of the rush, but it's out of his reach and into the corner. 30 seconds to go in this period. 3-0 North Bay lead as the puck is just held along the side boards. Still in the North Bay zone. Trying to move it along here. 15 seconds now. That puck was stuck there for about 17 seconds before it finally got moved out of the area. 8 seconds to go as North Bay gets it up to the blue line and dumped out. Chasing it is LeBlanc, and that will be the end of period number 1. McDonald, Terrien, and Wakely get the Battalion on the board to give him a 3-0 lead over Niagara through the first period.
Yep, shots on goal, 13-9 in favor for the Troops as well. And just really a period in which it felt like the Battalion dominated from the opening puck drop. Maybe not necessarily right away, though, I should say, because of that power play opportunity. But either way, the Battalion with a really good opening period here at home against the Niagara Ice Dogs. But with that being said, take a look. We're going to take a moment to step away and thank our sponsors. We're going to get a message out to you, but as always, pay attention because on the other side we'll have Derek Linneman who will take you through your intermission show.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindeman, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Welcome back to the Frontline broadcast and the Average Joe's Eatery game sponsor. After 20 minutes of play, the North Bay Battalion find themselves up by a score of 3-0 over the visiting Niagara Ice Dogs. Let's take a look at the first period summary. Opening up the scoring, Kyle McDonald with his 5th of the season at the 3:36 mark on the power play. Petrov and Ertl with the helpers on that goal. And 26 seconds later, Jacob Therian with his first career OHL goal gives the Battalion a 2-0 lead, 4:02 into that first period. Kyle Jackson and Nick Seaman with the helpers on that goal. And at the end of the first period of play, Dallin Wakely, his fourth goal, also on the power play, assisted by Justin Ertl and Kyle Jackson at 17:36, gave the Battalion a 3-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. In the first period, penalties, Alexander Lukin went off at 1:21 for hooking. Rodden Dionisio went off for unsportsmanlike conduct at 3:12, and Jacob LeBlanc went off at 16:50 for tripping. Shots in that first period favored the North Bay Battalion, outshooting the Ice Dogs by a total of 13-9. In the specialty teams, the Niagara Ice Dogs went 0 for 1 on the power play, and the Battalion 2 for 2 were perfect in that first period of play. And in the faceoff dot, the Niagara Ice Dogs with a slight advantage, winning 11 of the 19 faceoffs in that first period of play. Probably the best period I've seen the North Bay Battalion play coming out of the gates this season, looking really like just pouring it on and buzzing around the Niagara Ice Dogs goal, picking up those three goals. One of the players that is key to this team is the assistant captain, Paul Christopoulos. He's in his 3rd season with the North Bay Battalion, and earlier this week, myself and Courtney Kinney were able to catch up with him on the Frontline podcast, and here's just a little snippet of that interview now.
Mr. Paul Christopoulos, thanks for coming back on the Frontline here today.
No problem, guys. My pleasure.
So I'm just gonna hop into it then. How would you grade your acting skills in the Burger World commercials?
I wouldn't score a perfect, but I'd score pretty close. I mean, I got to give credit to Keegan there. I mean, he's the main character of the commercial. So him and Corey, they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, I was gonna say without Keegan, the commercial just kind of falls apart. No offense, Paul.
No, he's definitely quite the character. I'll say that.
Have you gotten any good rippings in the locker room for that?
Not rippings, but guys are making jokes about it. But they loved all the commercials.
So, are you like a walking billboard at this point? Like you have to like just promote Burger World all the time?
You know what? Like my billet Mark owns Burger World at Algonquin, so, and his brother Dan owns the other location. But yeah, pretty much everywhere we go, I'm kind of known as Burger World's son. So
I gotta say, I will, on a serious note, Mark's a great guy. He always takes care of me every time I get in there. He'll find me a nice booth to go sit in if it's busy. So I got to give a shout out to Mark on that one. But when you first like came to or when you were first, billet of his, was that kind of like did you have to sign off on that you'll be used in commercials, or was it just kind of down the road that kind of came out?
It was kind of down the road. I mean, we actually I signed a deal where it says that if I'm in the commercials, he gives me free Burger World. So
Oh, we can't even get that for mentioning him on air.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. So if you go out and you're caught like eating, like I see a lot of the guys post game will go to Wacky Wings or something. So if you go to Wacky Wings, does he get upset at you, or is it understandable?
No, he only gets upset at me if I cheat on him and I go to Sills or his brother's restaurant.
Those are fair. Those are fair points. I'll give him that one for sure. Paul, before we dive into the season at hand for you, I got to take you back a year ago just because something happened last year that a lot of people didn't think was going to ever happen. You and your brother kind of split up. Your brother gets traded to Windsor. What went through that whole process to kind of bring that together? I know he's landed on his feet well in Windsor, but for you to not play with him anymore, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, obviously it's weird. It's the first time we ever been on separate teams, but last year, I mean, he had a better opportunity and they found him a good spot in Windsor. So he's definitely showing his skill over there, and he's doing pretty well for himself this, like, at the end of last year and the start of this year. So I'm very happy for him there. Yeah.
So,
So,
go ahead, Derek. Sorry.
no, I was just going to keep touching on that playoffs last season where Alex went on to the OHL finals. Were you right there in his corner cheering him on?
Yeah, I was actually at all his games in I went to one in Windsor and I was at all his games in Hamilton. I mean, Adam Dennis hooked me up with an access pass, so I was able to go to watch the games with my friends. Like, a lot of my friends came to watch him, and his, like, my brother's friends, we have the same friend group. So a lot of my friends and family came out and supported him.
Was were you like Brady Kachuk, there like partying it up in the stands with everyone, or were you a little bit more tame?
I wouldn't say I was partying, but yeah, I was more tamed and I was more dialed. Like, obviously I was cheering for Windsor, but
I think it's safe to say a lot of North Bay was, because A, we don't really like Hamilton. B, not only was Alex on that team, but so was Josh, right? So I mean, Josh Curry. So I mean, it's a pretty easy team to cheer for at that point, right? So
yeah, I mean, awesome. Like we miss Curry over here. He was a great guy. So yeah, we're cheering on him for even in while he's in Kingston right now. Still support him.
So was Alex and Josh bugging you for any tidbits on how to beat Hamilton in the final?
Uh, just told him play hard and you got to make less mistakes than they do.
how tough, like, so for us up in the broadcast booth where we're watching a team like Hamilton, and they're firing on all cylinders in that series against you guys. How tough, like, what's it like on the ice against that team? Like, when you have all these different guys that can hurt you in all these different ways as a defenseman, how do you prepare for that?
Obviously, like, Hamilton had a skilled team last year, but I would say, like, our team is pretty skilled too, and I think, like, it was more of like a confidence and a mindset thing, whereas, like, you kind of gotta think positive and you gotta, like, just work harder than they are.
And while the North Bay Battalion are leading the Niagara Ice Dogs 3-0 here at Memorial Gardens, there is also 3 other games going on in the OHL tonight, all through the first period of play, as the Barrie Colts lead the Peterborough Petes by a score of 2-1. Kingston are in Saginaw. That game is deadlocked at 0s. And in Windsor, the Spitfires with a 3-0 lead over the Sarnia Sting. Taking a look at the major sporting events happening around, the Astros are in Philly to take on in Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. That is an 8:03 first pitch. That series is tied at 2 apiece. The Thursday nighter in the NFL sees the Philadelphia Eagles in Houston to take on the Texans. And in the NHL, taking a look at the Canadian teams, the Vegas Golden Knights are in Ottawa. They lead the Senators by a score of 3-1 after one period of play. And later tonight, 8 o'clock start, Montreal is in Winnipeg to take on the Jets. And even later at 9, the New Jersey Devils will be in Edmonton to play the Oilers, and the Calgary Flames will host the Nashville Predators. One last Canadian team, the Vancouver Canucks, host the Anaheim Ducks. That's a 10 p.m. start. But back to Memorial Gardens, where it is a 3-0 lead for the North Bay Battalion. I want to bring in Courtney Kenny. Courtney, that was probably the best first period of play I've seen out of the North Bay Battalion this year. That's something we're not used to, is seeing a quick start.
Real quick, shout out to the North Bay Battalion on this one. We've been trying for years now, and this might get me taken off air, but I've had enough. We've been trying for years to be like, hey, we promote your team, we get your players out there, and they don't do anything for us in the arena. They have a show right now with Greg Esterbrook's on TV in the arena right now. Not slagging Greg, he's a great guy. But it's with Coach Go. It's not your own media. You have your own media, and you're not doing anything with it. That's the frustrating part. Back to the Battalion, though, on that side. Nice little transition there. They look great on ice. They look great. Everything about the hockey side looks great about the Battalion. This team is really going to help put butts in seats for sure when it comes to the North Bay Battalion on the ice. They offer a lot of value to the fans coming in here, especially when they start off the game like they did in that period. It's a wonderful period for sure. And you can't say many bad things about it. There were maybe not necessarily sluggish in the beginning, but it was kind of back and forth before that first penalty to Niagara. Then the Battalion looked really good on the penalty kill, and then Niagara eventually took a penalty to nullify that penalty kill, and then the Battalion go down and score on that power play, so it worked pretty good.
Yeah, that penalty kill was so aggressive killing that off. Even at one point, they had a quick 3-on-1 developed, and that's what resulted in the Niagara Ice Dogs taking that penalty, in which they capitalized on scoring. McDonald picking up his 5th goal of the season. But what a great moment for Jacob Therian, scoring that first OHL career goal right here on home ice.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, seconds after Kyle McDonald scores to give the Battalion the 1-0 lead. So good for Jacob Therian. It's really good to see. I like this draft class for the Battalion a lot. The 3 that we see in the OHL right now with Ethan Procession, who's had a great start to his OHL career. Braden Turley, and then Ethan Procession, his name's totally passing by on me right now. Therian, that's Jacob Therian. I knew it started with a J, not an E. But anyways, they've looked really good so far in the limited action we've seen those guys, because they've been in and out of the lineup. And the Tyson Risman playing with the Powassan Voodoos has looked great, who's also signed. And Michael McIver's looked fantastic for the U18 Trappers. All teams that we do cover and help put butts in seats and value us. With that, with the other games, and Michael McIver, I can't say much more good things about him. He's looked fantastic for the U18 Trappers this year.
Just quickly touch on how good Dom looked in that first period.
Oh my goodness, yeah. He's looked great, and one thing I've said to Matt is, one thing the Battalion tend to do is they give up a lot of odd man rushes, and good thing that Dom DiVincentis has been in net for most of those opportunities. 9 nights out of 10, I'm going with Dom. I said that to you in the beginning of the broadcast. He's looked fantastic. His rebound control is next to nothing, and he's just looked great.
I really was impressed with some of those east-west saves he's been making. He's been able to get across and just making those saves look so simple. Well, we're going to see more of the Battalion in the second period, and you'll be rejoined by Matt Sukram, who will have the call right on the flip side of these advertising.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Back for second period action. Here's the North Bay Battalion take on the Niagara Ice Dogs. Again, the troops with a 3-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. And here's Matt Sukram to once again take you through the period.
Thanks, Courtney. Plays back underway, and the Battalion just missed on a shot there. Sent down the ice, trying for a hard hit. Behind the net looked like Nolan, and check that might have been Juan Copeland there. But Paul Christopoulos escapes that hit. Arnsby fires it into the zone, and it's cleared right out. Aiden Castle up to the blue line, finds Copeland coming in, but they're going to call offside against the Ice Dogs.
And Copeland there a little frustrated on that one as he was coming in on a makeshift 2-on-1 with Pano Femus, a guy that you want to have on the 2-on-1 with you, Mr. Femus, as he went second overall in the 2020 OHL priority selection to Ty Nelson, who went first overall. So again, a big guy that you want to see going in on a 2-on-1, but he was just a couple of steps ahead, and offside's the call.
North Bay win the draw. Nelson in his own zone, plays it down the right wing side, trying to get it up ahead, but it's blocked by Rebo and fired right back in. Interesting note for the Niagara Ice Dogs, all three of their overagers are defensemen. Play back out of the Niagara zone, sent down into the North Bay end. It's Lukin there. Lukin plays it up ahead, getting onto the stick of Jackson. He'll drop back behind his own net, and then he'll leave it there for Nelson. He'll carry it down the left wing side, gets out of the zone, and dishes it up ahead to Jackson. Over the blue line, sends it across to the left side of the zone. It's off the boards, picked up on the stick of He, and Kevin He heads down the ice, going into the zone. Pass across the right side, shot in by Zito, and he scores. Pasquale Zito gets the Ice Dogs on the board. It's 3-1.
So I take back all the nice things I said about Zito in the last period. Jeez. Zito, of course, he looked like he didn't come off the ice at all. We mentioned it in the first period, and he gets rewarded on that one. As him and He have looked like a deadly combo out there for the Ice Dogs all game long, and finally getting one past DiVincentis after Derek and I sung the praises of Dom in the intermission, although he did look really good in that first period. So I guess we're just jinxing the guy.
And the puck is sent down the ice, and that will be icing called against the Battalion. I checked that against the Ice Dogs, so we'll go back the other way here.
And the Battalion countering with that third line of Wakely, Tarasevich, and Petrov. And out there we see Govro and Kennedy on the D partners as they have 7 defensemen out there in this game. As a quick shot comes in, and Rosenzweig had to be sharp on that one. But they have 7 defensemen in this game. Compared to just, they're playing with one less forward, so lots of defensemen to get into this one.
Play continues inside the Niagara zone. Tarasevich flips it back behind the net, looking for Wakely. Petrov joins him in that attack back there. Petrov carries the puck to the far side boards, makes his move, goes around in the middle, dishes off to left side, scores! One-time pass is redirected in the back of the net. Nikita Tarasevich with his 4th of the season, and North Bay lead it 4-1.
Who do we talk about in the first period as being around for offensive chances, and that's Nikita Tarasevich, who's looking like a different player this season. He's looked like he's come together and kind of woken up after a bit of a sluggish start, maybe after being picked to be one of the top players. So good to see Nikita Tarasevich. Goals in 2 go to the 3 games last weekend. He started off this 3-3 with a goal in the first game, so we'll see if he continues that throughout the weekend and continues this momentum moving forward.
And he is supposed to be a big key for this offense this season if he can really get it going. Nikita Tarasevich, 19-year-old in this league, really lead your offense. Now here's a chance for the Ice Dogs, right in on net. DiVincentis makes a quick save. Rebound chance is redirected wide. Turley behind the net, plays it to the far side boards. Terrian gets hammered. Coming into that play was Zito, and he runs over Turley. There's a shot from the left side. Save made by DiVincentis, but the puck just sat in the middle of the slot, and no one was there to clear for North Bay, so it stays in the zone. Now LeBanc takes a shot, and it's redirected off his stick over the glass and out of play. So North Bay definitely survive a scary defensive zone effort there.
Niagara's coming out with a lot more gumption in this period, it feels, than they did in the first period, where after they got down by 1 quickly, they just kind of sat on their heels and had the Battalion dictate the pace of play to them. So Niagara, again, whatever they were set in the intermission, whatever they tried to reset has worked so far. And they've it's resulted in 1 goal, but North Bay, again, going down there to reestablish that 3-goal lead.
Out of the zone, McDonald has the puck, carrying it down the right side. Tries to get around one defender, but a good job by Jesus to just stay his ground and make sure that McDonald could not move into the middle of the zone. Sent the other way by the Ice Dogs. North Bay trying to pick it up behind their own net. Fed up ahead to McDonald, who gets it to Winslow and carries it out of the zone. Dumped into the Niagara end. Up to the blind. Bouncing puck just goes wide of the net. Rosenzweig tried to get a glove on it, but it bounced under his glove and ended up on the end boards and cleared out of the zone by the Ice Dogs. And now they carry it into the North Bay end to the right side. The shot comes in. Big blocker save made by DiVincentis, and the bounce comes all the way out of the zone, and McDonald in the neutral zone. McDonald down the right wing, takes a shot, it's deflected off a stick, over the glass and out of play. 16:15 to go. It's a 4-1 North Bay lead.
15-12 are the shots on goal. Niagara getting a couple of shots here quickly. As mentioned, they scored the first goal of this period before the North Bay turned around and was able to reestablish that 3-goal lead. So North Bay coming down with some good opportunities. Kyle McDonald with some speed, something that we don't always see from Kyle McDonald, as he's a little bit of a slower guy, but good to see some speed and some opportunities for him as he comes down the ice. Just a good defensive play by Niagara to avoid that shot.
That's twice on that same shift that McDonald was looking like he was going to set himself up for a goal, but yeah, and you know when you're one of the better players on the ice when the other team really buckles down defensively against you.
Yes.
15:50 to play in the second period. It's sent down into the Niagara zone. Behind the net, it's played by Keene. Now he leaves it there for Rebo, and Rebo sends it down the ice. As I said, Rebo, one of 3 defensemen that are overagers on this Niagara team. It's Rebo, Jesus, and Keene that are your overagers for the Ice Dogs. You got to think a trade is coming up at some point. Sent down into the North Bay zone. Picked up by the Battalion. Romani plays it across to the far side. Drop back to Nelson. Nelson plays it up ahead to Romani over the blue line. Trying to get it in. Romani in the slot. Takes a shot. Scores! Anthony Romani with his second of the season. It's 5-1 North Bay.
And Anthony Romani had to wait until February to get even his first goal last year to already have his second here in this one. And he's looked real good as that snipe came from the slot as it was rebounded off of an Ice Dogs defenseman who blocked the shot. He was able to corral it behind Rosenzweig, and it doesn't matter who you put in the net at this point. It just seems like the Battalion are finding ways past the Ice Dogs defenses and able to get the puck in the back of the net.
Anthony Romani, 2 goals on the year now. Joins a long list of troops that have had at least 2 goals on the season now. Team leader is Kyle Jackson with 6. Right behind him, Kyle McDonald, who scored in this game with 5 now. And then you've got a handful of guys like Petrov and Wakely. Nelson with 4 goals. Erdl and Tarasevic actually with 4 goals now too. So it's nice to see that the offense can come from various aspects of this roster. 14:50 to play in the second period. 5-1 North Bay. Wakely coming down the left wing side. Stops at the hash marks. Fed across to Tarasevic, who came in with speed, but just couldn't control the puck. Played it back to the point to Christopoulos. To the left side, Winslow, his shot comes in, and it's a save made by Rosenzweig. And there's some thinking that maybe you play the backup against North Bay because you're not really sure if you're going to get the 2 points tonight. But then you start Rosenzweig, your starter, against Sudbury tomorrow, hoping that you for sure pick up the 2 points. Well, Rosenzweig has come into this game, and he's given up 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of this second period.
Yeah, and for the Ice Dogs, you know, you want to pick up those 2 points because Sudbury's kind of really reeling right now. They just went through a coaching change, but they are on a long home game streak here. So we'll see if that kind of remedies whatever's going on in the Nichols City. But for the Ice Dogs, yeah, especially after a week off, you'd expect to see some more jump in their step in this game.
Tarasevic at the side of the net, just fans on it. And now it's sent down the ice, out of the Niagara zone. Turley has it, plays it up ahead Gets it on the stick of Tarasevic again on the right wing side. Feeds across the middle. Petrov scores on the one-timer. Tarasevic teed it up, and Petrov fired it in. It's 6-1 as Petrov scores his 5th of the season.
Well, Mr. Derek Lindemann, he usually is the guy who chooses our Battalion players to watch, or I should say our players to watch in general, because he picked Aidan Castle as well. And he picked Matvey Petrov this week, and it's looking like he made the right decision for the Battalion as Matvey Petrov, the point leader, and now it looks like Niagara's going to call a timeout. But Matvey Petrov, the troops point leader coming into this one, he already has 2 assists before this one, and now he gets a goal on a very nice setup by Nikita Tarasevic.
And that will help Matvey Petrov continue his current point streak to 9 games now. So 3 goals, 9 assists for 12 points in this current 9-game point streak that extends back to October 7th. And with Kyle Jackson getting an assist tonight, that will recharge his point streak, I guess you could call it. He had an 8-game point streak that went from September 30th to October 23rd. That was an 8-game stretch where he scored 5 goals and got 11 points. So like I said, Petrov has surpassed that now in both games and points. 9 games, 12 points with his 3 points tonight.
Yeah, really looking more and more dangerous, and as we mentioned with him, he's looking to pass more often than he did last year. I mean, picking up already 2 assists in this game plus that goal. But that's the other thing, is that he can hurt you in so many different ways. As Petrov able to get 2 assists in this one, so you don't know if he's going to pass or shoot in this one, Matt.
That's what's making him so dangerous. Playback underway, 13:50 to play in the second period. 6-1 North Bay as Arnsby goes offside. And while we have a second to chat about it, or maybe we don't, as there's a big scrum going on in the corner. Van Steensel's involved. McDonald is down there. And as soon as McDonald got involved, everyone just kind of backed off because I don't think you want to go against McDonald in the corner.
He's got to put a foot on
that was
everybody.
like the big brother coming in and being like, all right, guys, move along, nothing to see here. What I was going to mention is Petrov assisted on Tarasevic's goal. Tarasevic assisted on Petrov's goal. That was something the Battalion were really looking to find last season when they paired those two up.
Yes, for sure, and it didn't pay out much last year for the troops, but it's really looking good in this one so far. And I just want to mention, as he was coming off the bench, Cam Govro, Brandon Sirazotti basically ran into him intentionally, like kind of stuck out his arm to hit him as he's going out. So Cam Govro, who's going to fight on the Battalion? Well, it's probably Liam Arnsby or Cam Govro, right? So you're going to think that he's going to be looking for number 8 when he steps back out on the ice next.
Yeah, this game could get nasty if this score keeps going here. Wakely plays it in behind the net. Sema has control of the puck. Off the half boards, plays it back in behind the net, looking for Terrien back there. Terrien comes in front and then lost control of the puck. Now he flips it around to the blue line, gets it to Nelson. Nelson fires it in, deflected. Wakely picks it up on the far side, can't get a shot off. He carries it to the hash marks. Now he takes a shot. Save made. Terrien's right there, and his shot is denied. And now the arm goes up at the end of the play, and it's going to be a hooking call coming up against Ryan Venedin of the Niagara Ice Dogs. So North Bay will go on their 3rd power play of the game.
Yeah, and he really kind of took Wakely down into Rosenzweig as well. As now we see Govro kind of getting into some words, and he's going to get a penalty.
Unsportsmanlike.
So you're not going to like to see that, as it's going to nullify your power play now. So Jim's Locksmithing just got a free advertisement here in the Gardens.
You can see the disappointment on the face of the coaching staffs after that one.
Yeah, you just
with Cam Govro.
You were just given a 2-minute power play. Now it's going to be 2 minutes 4-on-4 action. So a lot of ice out there to get creative. But again, you don't like to see that from Cam Govro after you're just handed a power play.
So play underway here, as Courtney said, 4-on-4 with 13 minutes to go in this second period. It's a 6-1 North Bay lead. I guess we're going to have to start looking up some of the high scoring records for North Bay if this game continues this way. The Battalion trying to get it out of the defensive zone. Christopoulos moving it up to the line. Gets it down the left wing side for Erdl. He gets over the blue line. Now it's played to the half boards on the far side, but taken away by Kevin He of the Ice Dogs. He gets it out of the zone, gets it off the stick of Zito. He deflects it right towards DiVincentis in the North Bay zone, who just slaps it to the far side boards. Picked up back there by Christopoulos, sent around behind the net to Petrov. 12:20 to go in the second period as Petrov moves it down the ice. North Bay up 6-1, and there's about a minute remaining on these offsetting penalties to Govro and Van Netten. It is off the stick of Petrov as he carried it all the way down the ice and back to the neutral zone. Zito knocked down coming in over the blue line, and now North Bay have a 2-on-1 going the other way. Petrov coming in on the right side towards the net, goes around behind the net, still trying to get the pass off. He gets it to the line to Nelson. Nelson carries it to the half boards. He's knocked off the puck by Nolan Dan, and the Ice Dogs get it out of the zone over the blue line, but then it's knocked off their stick and back out to the into the neutral zone. Bringing it back in is Dan. He gets stopped on the half boards, and the Battalion will look to get it out of the zone with 20 seconds go, and the penalties to Govro and Van Netten. Nelson brings it down the ice. It's off the mask of the goaltender Rosenzweig into the corner, and play back out controlled by Lukin. 11:20 to go in the period as North Bay leads 6-1. It's on the stick of Lukin still. He tries to bring it into the zone, gets it up to Terrien. Terrien going in, but he's pushed off the puck by LeBanc. Knocked away from his stick, and it's sent down the ice. Wyatt Kennedy has control of the puck, and he sends it out to the neutral zone. Play in on the half boards in the neutral zone. Aiden Castle finds the puck, brings it over the blue line. Knocked off his stick, and Romani goes the other way for North Bay. Gets it up ahead to Terrien over the blue line. Sends it back to left side to Romani, to Tarasevic. Now Kennedy on the blue line. Kennedy tries to center it for Terrien. It's knocked off his skate and picked up by Seema on the far side board. Seema drags it to the front of the net, but it's poked off his stick by the goaltender Rosenzweig. 10:30 to play in the second period. North Bay maintained a 6-1 lead as it's shot back into the Ice Dog zone. Niagara gets it up ahead to Femus, coming over the blue line. Femus, it's knocked off his stick. McDonald couldn't find it. Femus gets it back, plays it to right side. The shot, big kick save made by DiVincentis. Picked up by McDonald, gets it up to Seema in the neutral zone. It's knocked off his stick, and now Femus trying to go the other way for the Ice Dogs. Knocked off his stick, and now it's picked up by McDonald. He goes in on the left wing side towards the net, and his backhanded shot is wide of the net. 10 minutes to play in the second period. Back and forth we go. We are back to 5-on-5. Femus down the left wing side, tries to center it for Castle, but it is not completed, and they can't get the shot off. North Bay go the other way. McDonald down the left wing side. He sends it on the backhand. It's wide of the net. Picked up in the corner. Arnsby's there with 9:40 to play. The Battalion captain gets it to Seema on the half boards. Seema lost it. Picked up by the Ice Dogs Klein, and he sends it right towards DiVincentis, who covers it up for a stoppage and play. 6-1 North Bay, and we'll take a break.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens as we get set for the second half of the second period, as the Battalion have the 6-1 lead over the Niagara Ice Dogs.
Courtney needs to take a breather here. It's producer Ben Long's birthday tomorrow, and we wanted to get him a birthday wish on the screen, but well, as you heard in the intermission, a lot of our wishes aren't being fulfilled right now by.
Although it was said by the public address announcer, so
okay, all right.
We'll give it a pass there. So
at least happy birthday, Ben.
Yes, tomorrow. What are you doing for your birthday tomorrow, Ben? I bet you're not sitting in Powassan and watching a Voodoo's game. What more could you want for a birthday present? I know. How about some Junior A hockey on the Frontline broadcast? But here we go. Yes, the second half of this period, the Battalion on the face-off win it back into the corner. It's 6-1, 9.5 minutes to go here in the second period.
What he said. Playback underway out to the neutral zone. Rebo tries to dump it in, blocked by McDonald, picked up by Arnsby, and sent down the ice into the Niagara zone. Behind the net, Arnsby battling for it back there. The battalion captain trying to move it into the corner. It's knocked away off his stick by Jesus, and Ice Dogs get it out briefly, play it back in their own zone, and now they turn it over the line. But now they are calling offside. Van Steensel stole the puck at the blue line, went into the zone, and they're saying McDonald never cleared the blue line there. But, man, that was a close play. That was a really close play.
And that was linesman Ian Rush, who has probably one of the coolest last names ever if you're a big Rush fan, of course, like I am.
Do you think he listens to Tom Sawyer on the way to the rink?
Yeah, that's what gets him amped. He's like, Neil Peart is the greatest drummer of all. He's like the Cheetos guy on the Family Guy.
There's a reference.
That will never not make me laugh.
Tweet us your favorite references, and we'll find a way to get them in the broadcast somehow. Here come the Ice Dogs into the attacking zone. They trail 6-1. Delayed penalty coming up against the North Bay Battalion. As Ertl touches the puck in the middle, and North Bay will be sent to the sin bin. 6-1 the score. North Bay lead. 8:23 to go in the second period. And like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I was talking to Ted Lehman, the play-by-play voice of the Niagara Ice Dogs. He ran the numbers. A North Bay Niagara game with this officiating crew averages 8 penalties in a game.
Wow.
Well, we're up to how many have been given out now? That's 5. This will be number 6.
And that's Justin Ertl, who's gone to the box. And he was one of the gentlemen who was serving a penalty that led to that 6-on-3 in London. I said, what was going through your mind in there? He's like, that's probably the most stressed out I've been in the penalty box.
Keane to the left side to Castle at the line. Sends it in towards the North Bay net. Blocked by Christopoulos. His clearing attempt is knocked off the boards. Teresevich picks it up, though, and heads down the ice. Teresevich down the right wing side, takes a shot. Blocker save made by the goaltender, Rosenzweig. Well, North Bay have scored 5-on-5. They've scored on the power play. And now Teresevich trying to score shorthanded.
Yeah, that's a team hat-tricker, isn't it? It's kind of like a goal-scoring cycle.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
We need to get an empty netter, though.
Empty netter and a penalty shot. So you need 5 to complete the cycle.
Is that tougher than getting a cycle of baseball?
It's only been done once. Mario Lemieux's the only guy to ever do it.
That's true. Sorry, baseball. You got to take a sidestep on that one.
Yeah. Where it seems like a cycle is hit at least once a year in MLB, if not more.
Still impressive whenever it happens.
It's still impressive. But what would you rather? A 3 or 4 homer game, or hitting for the cycle?
4 homer game. It's been done by so few.
Yeah. 1:15 to play on the North Bay penalty kill with Ertl in the box. Remember, Niagara has the 4th best power play in the league, and if they're looking to get back into this game, this would be the time to do it as they dump it back into the North Bay zone. Play to the line. Jesus keeps it in the North Bay zone. Plays it up the half boards, across to the near side. Dionisio with it. Plays it back to the middle. Jesus to the right side circle. Back up high to Jesus. Holds it there. Plays it over to the left side. Dionisio takes a shot. Wide of the blocker side on DiVincentis. Play to the far side boards. Lukin and Jesus collide at the boards. The puck goes up in the air. Comes down in the far side corner. Play back to the point. Jesus has it again. Plays it back to the right side. Held there. Now back up to the right side. Hash marks across the left side. Copeland shot. Kick save made. Rebound chance in front of the net. It's stopped by DiVincentis, and he holds on to it for stoppage and play. 6:53 to go in the second period. 6-1 North Bay lead.
Do you have to be good to be lucky or lucky to be good? Because Dom DiVincentis did not see that, although I will say he's a very good goaltender, just to clear up any misconceptions. He didn't see where that puck was and just kind of stuck his foot out, and it kind of hit him like a magnet. It just found him out of nowhere, and they were able to stop that one. Niagara has a bit more zone time on this power play than they did on the last one, but so far, I've really liked the look of the Battalion's penalty kill in this one. It's very aggressive and doesn't look to be collapsing in on itself at all.
And North Bay are able to get the puck out of the zone with 15 seconds remaining on their penalty kill. Zito in the middle. Lost the puck. Arnsby poked it from him, and Arnsby was trying to get around him for a breakaway, but Zito did a good job coming in on the back check and not allowing Arnsby to get control of that puck. But that effectively kills the rest of this power play for the Ice Dogs. Ertl's back on the ice, and North Bay control the puck in the offensive zone. Jackson had it behind the net. Knocked off his stick by Keene. And he'll send it through the neutral zone. It's Jackson who has it in his own end. Off that dump in. And he sends it up ahead to Romani coming back in the Niagara zone. Niagara get it right back out, trying a stretch pass up to Zito. It's past his stick. And that will be icing called against Niagara. 6:01 to play in the second period. 6-1 the score for the North Bay Battalion. And that is a team high for them for goals scored in a game this season. They had 5 against Barrie the last time they were in this building.
Something about home cooking. It just seems to get you a little bit better, and hopefully they're able to save some goals for the next 2 games that they'll have on this weekend trip, as they, again, do play a 3-on-3, going to Hamilton for a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals from last year tomorrow, and then their first trip since 2019-20 season to Erie to take on the Otters.
The Battalion haven't scored less than 3 goals per game here on home ice this season thus far. Here's Romani coming in. He's got one today. His shot is a blocker save made by Rosenzweig. Now it's picked up by Petrov. Trying for a cross-zone pass, but it's knocked away and sent down the ice. Govro picks it up in his own zone. Sends it back to the neutral zone. Played forward by the Ice Dogs with 5:15 to go. Down the right wing side, it's Dan going in towards the net. He's hauled down as he tried to barrel in on DiVincentis. Holding will be the call. And it is another North Bay penalty kill coming up here with 5:14 to play in the second. North Bay ahead 6-1.
The Battalion haven't, even with that power play earlier and then Govro going back to the box on this one, haven't really given too much shots up in this period after Niagara started off a little hot in this period. But the Battalion have kind of taken over and been able to do a lot of damage on the shot clock. Also a bit of an early mention, but the attendance in this game, 2,015. So a little bit down from what we've seen in the first couple of games here this season.
It must be because everybody is at home listening to us, right?
That's true.
Sent down the ice and, yeah.
We're bad.
5 minutes to go. Dionisio bringing it in. Tarasevic at the line. Jesus falling down from his knees. Still maintains the puck possession and gets a pass across. But then it's cleared out of the way. And David Jesus got to be going, what do I got to do to generate some offense here, guys? Now they've got it in the zone. At the line. Dionisio to the middle. He's there. But he sends it wide of the net. And the Battalion trying to clear it. They do. Actually, no, they're going to call the high stick against He. He tried to bring the puck down. And then after he did, it was over his shoulder, so then he touched the puck, and they called it high stick against He. So, 4:21 to play in the second period. 6-1 the score for North Bay. Another minute 7 remaining on the penalty kill to Govro.
He's got such a great last name because he can be used in so many different ways. Like, it's so universal. That's like that would be like your type of dream to have to goal call for him if he was on the Battalion.
The first thing I thought of was just, he scores. There's a shot in to Rosenzweig, and he puts the pads down and leaves it there. And that will allow Keene to take it up the ice. Over to Castle. He comes over the blue line, but his pass into the zone is knocked away by Kennedy, so Keene will have to chase it back out of the zone. In the middle, he dumps it in. Nelson will chase into the corner with 30 seconds to go. I thought the power play was over for a second, the way that play developed. And Erdl comes down the ice on the breakaway. Erdl, Dipsy doodles around the behind the goaltender, but he can't bury it. Puck is still loose. Goaltender's on his back, and somehow the Battalion cannot bury that one. And now on the return, Pasquale going in on the breakaway, but the puck is knocked off of his stick. Sent down the ice, and that was a wild finish to that penalty kill. Third power play of the game for the Ice Dogs. Here it comes. Jesus in the zone. His shot goes off a stick and into the corner. Set to the middle now. Zito fires it wide of the net. Dionisio has it at the blue line. His pass is knocked off the skate of Jesus and out of the zone, and he has to drop all the way back into his own end with McDonald up high on the forecheck. Now Petrov steals it. Petrov gets slashed. I don't know if he got in the face or in the hands, but he went down quickly, and that is going to be a penalty coming up against Rodwin Dionisio. Petrov gets his stick back, looks to be okay, and it's going to be 2 plus another 2, so a 4-minute penalty to Dionisio with 2:47 left on the clock in the second period. It's a 6-1 North Bay lead, but they could really open the floodgates here on this opportunity, which is going to be their third power play of the game. Well, third and fourth, technically.
Petrov went over looking for some repairs, but quickly they deemed him okay to keep on going as he's back out there on the power play. So conceivably, the Battalion will likely finish this period on the man advantage, although if you score 2 quick ones, it will take away the man advantage for you on that one. So remember, the Battalion, even though it's a double minor, if they score a goal, as now Petrov does go off the ice. And it looks like Tarasevic is coming back on. But if they score before the 2-minute mark on this power play, the power play continues.
North Bay win the draw. It's Nelson at the line, fakes the shot, sends it to Jackson, back up high to Nelson, shot in! Glove save made by Rosenzweig. So the starting goaltender, Flores, gave up 3 goals on 11 shots. Rosenzweig has come in and given up 3 goals on 14 shots. Do you think they make another change at some point, or? I mean, this is the start of a long road trip here for the Niagara Ice Dogs. Nelson across to the far side of Petrov, walking in the circle. Petrov, who drew the penalty, sends it across to the near side, but it's blocked and cleared by the Ice Dogs. Femus gets it up to the right side, back across the Femus in front of the net, and DiVincentis makes the save. 3:30 to play on the power play. 2:17 to go in the period. 6-1, North Bay lead.
To your previous point, Matt, I think they might, if the Battalion score another goal, I wouldn't be shocked if they went back to Flores just because they're playing tomorrow against Sudbury, which could be a very interesting thing as well. So a bit of a malfunction there in Sudbury. If you haven't seen it, Brian Cooper, the voice of the Sudbury Wolves on radio, had a bit of a friendly visit.
He got attacked.
He did get attacked by the Wolf, of all things.
Here comes Winslow down the ice, takes a shot, save made. Arsby looking for the rebound, but he plays it off the far side boards to Tarasevic. Walking in on the left side, below the goal line to Arsby. He skates back up to the hash marks, now plays it to the line to Winslow. Winslow across to the far side to Wakely on the boards. Wakely back to the line to Winslow. Cross ice pass to Romani at the line. Down low to Arsby, centering it to Tarasevic, and he scores! Nikita with another one! It's 7-1 North Bay.
It's his second goal of the game, so that'll be his 5th of the season.
And it came before the 2-minute mark, so the Battalion will get another power play here. And they're 3 for 3 on power plays tonight.
Well, they've certainly improved their their special teams presence in this game, as they're able to go 3 for 3 on the power play so far. Nikita Tarasevic, again, one of those guys that Adam Dennis keyed in on earlier on the podcast before the season started. So good to see him score. And just to finish off my previous point, the Wolf in Sudbury is on a line, and it comes out whenever they score a goal. They didn't stop it. It went right into the media booth, right over top of where he is. So as we say about that arena in Sudbury,
it's garbage.
Yes.
Tarasevic has a 3-point night, 2 goals and an assist, and that is his first 2-goal game in his OHL career. It's his first 3-point game in his OHL career. And man, that is found money for the North Bay Battalion if he can keep up that pace.
You essentially traded nothing for him.
Turley to the left side. Kennedy across to the right side. Seema fires it in, and it's just wide of the glove of Rosenzweig. 45 seconds to go in the period as Niagara dump it out. Castle coming in on the right side. Gets around Turley. Sends it to the middle of the shot. It's over the crossbar. As coming in late into the play was Zito, and he was wide open but could not put the puck past DiVincentis. Play continues. 25 seconds to go in the period. Battalion with another 40 seconds remaining on this secondary power play here. Van Steensel is knocked down, and they're going to call him for diving. Okay. 30 seconds to go on this power play. LeBanc falls down. Call him for that one. Touched by the Battalion in the neutral zone.
Okay, well, the only person.
Oh, now they're calling a trip.
I'm confusion.
I saw him. Yeah, that was.
So Van Steensel tripped the guy before he fell. The arm was up before he went down.
Okay, I didn't see it till he went down. I saw the official look at him and then put his arm up.
Well, Mr. Ben Long, our producer, coming on. He was wise beyond his years. Happy birthday, Ben. You know I'm going to get some mileage out of that, just like I did with Mike Brown, right?
So it's 4-on-4 for 20 seconds, and that will continue in the third as we've run out of time in what's been an entertaining second period. The Battalion score 4 times to increase their lead to 7-1. Thoughts?
Oh, sorry. Just like the
This
Niagara,
is when it's your turn to talk.
just like the Niagara Ice Dogs, I'm falling asleep during the game. That's really mean. I'm sorry. The Battalion, is putting up a 7 spot in this one. With going into after 40 minutes of play, they've looked really dominant throughout the game. And again, even though he's allowed 1 goal on 18 shots, so 17 saves, still good numbers. Dom DiVincentis has looked great in this one, really keeping the rebounds out of dangerous areas as well and kicking them off to other areas. So hopefully we'll see some more of that from the Battalion, but at this point it's a question of not how many goals, but where they end up and how many, well, I guess it is how many goals the Battalion are going to score by the end of this one, Matt. So with that being said, we're not going to throw back to you, so that won't be the part where you talk. We're going to go to Derek. It'll be his turn to talk after these messages here on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Welcome back to the Frontline broadcast, where after 40 minutes of play, the North Bay Battalion take a 7-1 lead into the third period of play. Let's take a quick look at the scoring summary of that second period. Getting things underway were the Niagara Ice Dogs, getting on the board at 129. Pascal Zito, his 4th of the season. Kevin He and Brandon Cirazzotti picking up the assist on that before the Battalion run off 4 unanswered goals. The first coming just At the 2:09 mark, Nikita Tarasevich, his 4th of the season, picking up an assist, Matvei Petrov, before Anthony Romani, his 2nd of the season at 4:48. Nelson and Lukin with the helpers on that goal. Matvei Petrov, his 5th of the season, from Nikita Tarasevich at 5:47. Before ending the period, Nikita Tarasevich is 2nd of the night, 5th of the season on the power play at 18:17. Arnsby and Romani with the helpers on the Tarasevich goal. Looking at the penalties, a few more in this second period. Ryan Van Netten went off for hooking at 6:51. Also at 6:51, Cam Govro taking a slashing penalty. Justin Ertl went off for high sticking at 11:37. Govro again in the penalty box for holding at 14:46 before a double minor going to Rodwin Dionisio at 17:13, and rounding off the penalties of that second period at 19:54, Owen Van Steensel went off for tripping. Taking a look at the shots on goal. In the second period, the Niagara Ice Dogs 9 for a total of 18. North Bay Battalion 16 for a total of 29. Battalion doing an excellent job on the power play, 3 for 4 through 40 minutes of play. The Ice Dogs still held without a power play goal, 0 for 3 on their opportunities, and it's almost deadlocked in the face-off circle with the Battalion leading now the Ice Dogs 23-22 in the face-off category. This isn't the only game in the OHL tonight. Taking a look at the other 3 games, they're all through 2 periods of play. In Peterborough, the Petes and the Barrie Colts are tied at 2 apiece. The Kingston Frontenacs have taken a 1-0 lead over the Saginaw Spirit, and the Windsor Spitfires are up 5-2 over the Sarnia Sting. Meanwhile, in the professional leagues, the MLB playoffs are underway. Game 5 going on in Philadelphia as the Phillies and Astros are tied at 1 apiece. That's in the middle of the second inning. The series is tied at 2 apiece. In the Thursday nighter, the Houston Texans have a 7-6 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. Taking a look at the NHL tonight, looking at the Canadian teams in specific, the Vegas Golden Knights leading the Ottawa Senators 5-1 late in the second period of play. In Winnipeg, the Montreal Canadiens and the Jets are tied at 1. That's just late in the first period of play. And still later on tonight, the New Jersey Devils in Edmonton to take on the Oilers. The Anaheim and the Nashville Predators taking on the Flames tonight. Those are 9 o'clock starts. And a 10 o'clock start out on the West Coast. The Vancouver Canucks will be hosting the Anaheim Ducks. One of the new features that is on the Frontline podcast is Tommy's Trivia. And this week, Tommy sat down with Derek and Courtney to test their knowledge of Troops Trivia.
You know, the battalion had a pretty good road trip this past weekend, and it was kind of a historic road trip, I would say, in a way. And I don't want to, overemphasize that in a way, but that's what's going to lead into the first question, right? So the battalion, they played the London Knights, and the franchise, they haven't beaten the Knights on the road in quite a while, actually. And the first hint I'm going to give you for this trivia question is, ever since this franchise has been in North Bay, they've never beaten the London Knights on the road until, obviously, this past weekend. So when do you think the last time this franchise, including, everything it's been through, beat the London Knights on the road? So first option, 10 years ago. Second option, 15 years ago. Third option is 20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Derek, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Okay.
If I remember correctly, it was 2011 when they won last.
Okay. All right. I like that. Court, when do you think, what was your answer?
I seem to I remember them talking about this on the weekend. You think I would have paid more attention to it, but I want to say, well, you can barely see it, but it says 20. I want to say that's when it happened, because I remember it was a long time ago.
And you would be absolutely right on that. 20 years ago. Yeah. So just a little backstory to that. So 2002, 20 years ago, that was the year when the North Bay Centennials ended up going to Saginaw. And that was the year they ended up winning on the road against the London Knights, which was the last time this franchise won. And ironically enough, they won 4-3 as well. So
would you look at that?
Right. And just a little tidbit, if anybody wants to go down the nostalgia train or whatever, Jeff Doyle was the one who scored the game-winning goal, assisted by Adam Gibson, and a very well-known name to the Centennial fans, Chris Thorburn.
Very well known name for sure.
Last Centennial that was playing in the NHL.
You
That's
go
right.
you go over to Chris Dawson's house, and all he ever talks about is Chris Thorburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris Dawson and the Voodoos, who are doing pretty well in the NOJHL. Okay, so during the peak viewership of the at the broadcast on Sunday for the championship of the Live Golf, where they handed out more than $50 million. Okay, all right, not a big deal, not a big deal. I'm just gonna let you guys guess how many viewers during the peak time were watching this on their broadcast on YouTube. Okay, so the first option, 10,000. Second option, 70,000. And third option is 200,000. All right, since we went to Derek first, let's be only fair to go to Courtney first this time.
All right, so the lowest number so far has served me great with the Commanders. So I'm going with, on this one, 10,000.
Okay, all right. I love it. I love it. The continuity,
Hey, the
Derek?
Commanders are for sale now, too.
Yeah, they must have heard the question from last week and be like, oh, we're ashamed.
This podcast, I know, if we put some money together, I don't know, maybe we could afford it, right? This last question is going to be kind of a McDonald's related question, and hopefully,
Can we call a friend on this one?
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? It serves on the memory, this question, a little bit. Who doesn't love a nice Big Mac meal or whatever, right? So just going back kind of a little bit, back to the 90s. It was kind of when I first arrived in Canada, late 90s, and there have been so many people who told me, okay, you got to go to this place called McDonald's. It's magical. Get the kids' meal, but also get this thing called the Big Mac. And, everybody had heard of the Big Mac. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And I remember first time getting it. And it was, just unbelievable. So I'm just curious if you guys remember the price of a Big Mac back in the 90s. Okay?
Oh, God.
So first option, again, I have three options for you guys. Was it $1.50, $2.50, or $3.50 for a Big Mac?
Derek might have the advantage on this one.
I thought you were going to have something about like the McRib because it's coming back for its finale.
Well, I've been looking into that, and I haven't seen anything in Canada just yet.
No, I haven't either.
Right? So I'm hoping it's true, though, because the McRib was excellent. Excellent.
I'm sure Derek still remembers the days of the McPizza.
I do. and the styrofoam containers, the clamshells.
Oh, those are before my time.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to Derek for the first answer then.
I went with $2.50. $2.50, right down the middle again. It was good last time.
Right down the middle, sticking to the same. Court, what about you, buddy?
Well, on the bright side, Derek, at the very least, we'll have tied because I did $2.50 as well.
All right, so back-to-back weeks, we have a tie because it was $2.50.
Yeah,
$2.50 for a Big Mac, in the 90s. So, who knows, folks? Maybe in the third week we'll get a winner because right now, back to back, we got some ties.
And thanks to Tommy Wong for putting on Tommy's trivia.
It was a tie.
It was a tie.
It was a tie.
I want to protest
It
with
was
the
a tie.
first question because the Battalion franchise did beat the London Knights January 7th, 2011, 8-0 in London. Barclay Goodrow picking up 2 goals in that game.
La, 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 la. I can't hear you.
But stay tuned because there's some more exciting stuff coming up on the Frontline podcast as we get further into Tommy's trivia. Now let's take a quick look at how our players to watch that is brought to you by Mike the Financial Guy have done in the first 40 minutes.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Well, it hasn't been the night for Aiden Castle that we have been focusing on for the Niagara Ice Dogs. He's been held off the score sheet, only registering 1 shot on goal and a -1. But on the flip side, Matvey Petrov has extended his point streak to 9 games. That's the second longest in the OHL this season, picking up 1 goal, 2 assists through the first 40 minutes of play. Well, Courtney, 12 players for the Battalion have gotten on the score sheet so far in this 7-1 lead through 40 minutes. Can the Battalion add on in this third period? Well, we're going to have to wait and see because we're going to have to step away and pay a few bills here with some advertisements. But when we return, Courtney Kenny and Matt Sukram will have your third period action.
It was a tie.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And we're just a few seconds here into the third period. The Battalion have a 7-1 lead. 4-on-4 hockey is just about to expire as Niagara's going to find themselves on the power play for 1:30. And here's Matt to describe the play for you.
And that power play hasn't looked particularly powerful. Comes in this game 4th ranked. And we'll see if they can get something started here. Their shot gets blocked. And it's cleared quickly out of the zone. Carried by McDonald. His shot gets blocked and he tries to get it back for himself, pushes a player out of the way, skates to the middle, tries to get it to the stick of Wakely, but Wakely's shot doesn't go anywhere, and now McDonald with a shot, but as he touches the puck, cross-checking is going to be called against Wakely at the end of that play, and so here we go. North Bay are now going to be down to just 3 men on the ice for 1:10. 19:15 remaining in the third period. It's a 7-1 lead, but really kind of how the Battalion played against Windsor last weekend. The Niagara Ice Dogs now are trying to win this period.
Very much for sure. And the Battalion did a good job of winning that period, so we'll see if the Niagara Ice Dogs can do that in this one as well. But also a rare sight seeing both Van Steensel and Wakely in the box. You don't see that very often from those two guys. They're not penalized very often.
Castle has it at the top of the right side circle. Sends it down low, below the goal line. Back up high to Castle. Below the goal line again. Centers for Sirazati. The shot gets deflected and goes right into the pads, softly into the pads of DiVincentis, and he holds onto it for a stoppage of play. And now a lot of rough stuff going on after the whistle here, but the officials get in the way quickly.
Sirazati, he might have broken his stick on the play as he fanned on it, something fierce. It just had one of those moments where it looked like he was going to, he wound up for a big shot, and then next thing it just didn't get much velocity on it. Now we're going to get a face-off outside of the Battalion zone, and in the neutral zone here on the Battalion blue line on the near side wall. So Battalion going to have a chance here on the 5-on-3 to clear the puck down the ice.
But the face-off is won by the Ice Dogs, and they lose it out of the blue line. Christopoulos has it. Christopoulos in on the breakaway. Drags it. Goes right into the pads of the goaltender Rosenzweig, and he shuts the door on the Christopoulos opportunity. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty to Van Steensel. It's Femus bringing it into the North Bay zone, carrying it to the bottom of the circle, feeds it in front through the slot, nobody there. Off the half-boards on the far side, back in the corner. Nelson's there for North Bay, and he sends it down the ice to clear it, and that will send Van Steensel out of the box in the next 2 seconds. So it's 5-on-4 now for another 50 seconds. Here come the Ice Dogs. A shot from Zito goes wide. He was wide open. Nelson picks up the puck, carries it out of the zone, down the ice. Nelson up to the hash marks, and then just gingerly dumps it towards the end boards. So there we go. That's 8 penalties now, or 8 power plays for either team, and we've also had a couple of offsetting penalties. So 10 penalties that have been called in this game. And as we talked about in the broadcast, the average for these officials between a North Bay Niagara game is an average of 8. So they've surpassed that. Sent down the ice outside of the North Bay zone. And that is just about going to run the clock on the Wakely penalty. So Niagara will be 0 for 4 on their power plays today. I do not think they will wake up tomorrow and see their name in 4th overall on the power play in the OHL standings.
Oh, going to be a bit of a dip after this one for sure.
Wakely steals the puck at the blue line, racing down the ice on the right wing side. Wakely sends it in. It's off the blocker of the goaltender Rosenzweig and out of play. North Bay are up 7-1 with 16:55 to go in the third. They scored 3 in the third. They scored 4 in the second, and they did it all on just 30 shots, or check that, 29 shots.
Yeah, the Battalion now up to 31 shots on the game. Niagara has 19. So Niagara throwing a lot of pucks still the way of Dom DiVincentis, but not in the amount that the Battalion have been throwing at Rosenzweig and Flores at all.
Sent down into the North Bay zone. Hull trying to hold it on the boards. Sema is there trying to move it past his skates. Picked up by Kennedy. And then he gives it to Turley on the near side. Back to Kennedy on the far side. And he gets it down the ice where Sema picks up the puck and dumps it in. Played in behind the net by Jackson. Tried to center it. Taken off the stick behind the net. And the Ice Dogs look to get it out. Into the neutral zone, Turley plays it up ahead to Terrien. Terrien just behind the blue line dumps it down the ice. Played behind the net by the goaltender Rosenzweig. Into the half boards and carried out of the zone by Hull. Hull dumps it in. Played behind the net by DiVincentis in the North Bay zone. Sends it to the half boards on the near side, picked up by Jackson, and he'll get it out. Up ahead to Van Steensel. Steensel to the blue line to Christopoulos. He plays it back behind the net, looking for Van Steensel back there. It's knocked away from him, picked up by the Ice Dogs, and cleared out of the zone. Govro catches it in the neutral zone, plays it back to Christopoulos. He sends it down the right wing boards. And it's out of play, and faceoff will come inside the neutral zone right in front of the Ice Dogs bench. with 15:36 to go in the period. 7-1 North Bay lead.
Action a little bit slower here in this period, which isn't something you think you would say, as the Ice Dogs started off with quite the man advantage in this one, but the action on this one a little bit ground to a halt. It hasn't been as open.
Yeah, the North Bay really suffocated that 5-on-3, didn't they? Play back into the North Bay zone. It's Jesus with it for the Ice Dogs. He goes to the half boards, dumps it in the corner. Christopoulos picks it up there, and he clears it down the left wing up to Van Steensel. Gives it to a wide open McDonald racing on the right side. Plays it in front, looking for Van Steensel. It's just out of his reach. Jesus picks it up for Niagara. Plays it up ahead to He. Kevin He coming in on the left wing side. Plays it in front. It's deflected into the pads of DiVincentis, and he stays on top of it to get the whistle. But Cirizzotti thought he might have had a goal there against DiVincentis.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to tell where the puck was as DiVincentis came down, and he didn't look like he had it, which he didn't, because Kyle McDonald had it behind him. But the referees lost sight of it, so they blew the whistle down. But yeah, it's a little interesting to, Cirizzotti might have had a case, but referees say play on.
Face off won by Niagara. They get a shot right off the draw, but it goes off the blocker and then wide of the net. Played in the corner. Jackson's there. Up ahead to Erdl. Erdl sends it down the left wing into the Ice Dog zone. Delayed offside against the Battalion, so that allows Van Netten to bring it right back out and dump it into the North Bay end. Nelson plays it to the far side boards for Romani. Romani up ahead to Earl. It's knocked off his stick and out to the neutral zone. Loose puck picked up by Niagara. They try to dump it in, blocked by Nelson. He plays it forward. 14:15 to go in the third period. North Bay up 7-1. Their highest scoring game of the season so far. Jackson has it in the neutral zone, drops it back to Lukin, who plays it down the right wing for Erdl. He gets over the blue line. Erdl towards the net, stops on the hash marks, tries to center it. That gets knocked away and cleared out of the zone by Niagara. LeBanc coming down the left wing side, played to the middle. Themis is there, takes a shot deflected wide of the net, and then a shot from a sharp angle is also stopped by DiVincentis. He leaves it there for Sima, who gets it up ahead to Tarasevic, who plays it across to Petrov, coming down the left wing side. Petrov towards the net, tries to center it. That got blocked by Hull, and the Ice Dogs now have some room in their own zone to clear it, and they do get it up to the line. But as Hull touches it, they're going to call a hand pass against Copeland with 13:31 to go in the third. North Bay ahead 7-1.
It's been a few minutes since we've seen a shot on goal for the troops. It's 31-21 now in favor of the Battalion. But again, yeah, the Battalion, like you mentioned, did a good job of suffocating that 5-on-3, and they've kind of played it or moved it over to the 5-on-5 now, as they've suffocated play here since it's gotten back to 5-on-5.
Into the neutral zone. Kennedy has it. Plays it up ahead to Tarasevic, who dumps it in. Picked up behind the goal line by Keane of the Ice Dogs. He gets it out to the neutral zone. Stolen back quickly by North Bay, but they give it right back. Nolan Dan coming in. He's got Wakely pressed on him, and that allows North Bay to get the puck away from him and out to the neutral zone. But now Niagara gets it right back in as Hull brings it in on the right side. Plays it into the corner to Dan. Kennedy knocks it away from his stick for the Battalion. And now he's trying to get it out of that corner. Picked up on the half boards. Dan walking to the middle of the zone. Gets a shot off, but it goes wide. And it's picked up by North Bay and cleared out of the zone. Tarasevic racing for it down the ice. He gets to it first in the near side circle in the Niagara zone. Tries to play back to line, and it's cleared out of the zone. 12:35 to go as Petrov turns it over in the neutral zone. Coming in is Zito. Plays it back to Klein. His shot on net. Save made by the goaltender DiVincentis. 7-1 the score. North Bay ahead with 12:29 to go in the third.
Dom DiVincentis, again, we talked about how he maybe didn't have the start to the year road trip last week and that he would have wanted against Windsor. A good bounce back, though, however, against the London Knights the very next night. And in this game, looking very strong, making 21 saves so far through the first almost 50 minutes of play.
Cleared out of the zone, down the ice by the Battalion. They've got control of it now in the Niagara zone. Romani gets a shot, save made. Rebound chance of Terrien, and he scores! Jacob Terrien with his second goal of the evening, and North Bay lead 8-1.
How many times, Matt, have we seen over the course of the North Bay Battalion since they came to North Bay, a rookie score his first goal, but let alone his first goal, but his first two in the same game. So good job for Jacob Terry, and he's going to make a case to keep himself in the lineup if he keeps playing this way when Ethan Procession and Michael Podolou come back. And it's going to get to a point maybe even with Bouchard, who's still waiting in the wings as well to get a chance. Might come to a point where the Battalion are going to have to make a move.
Yeah, it certainly makes the job a little bit easier, though, as a coach.
Yes.
If you know that, hey, I'm going to put a guy in, and he's going to do something good for me. So, easier than having to take someone out for not playing well, right?
Yes.
Terry Ann with 2 goals tonight. Nikita Tarasevic with 2 goals tonight. And it's that depth scoring really coming to life here for the North Bay Battalion. Play underway inside the Niagara zone. Whistles going, sticks are flying around. Some pushing and shoving going on, and Christopoulos will be led to the box. So power play number 6 coming up for the Ice Dogs. Slashing is the call against Christopoulos. And remember, they came in 10 for 39. So they are now 10 for 45. Or 10 for 44. This will be their 45th power play of the game. Of the season, sorry. 45th power play of the game might
My
be
goodness.
45th power play of the season. Shot coming in, glove save made by DiVincentis.
So the Battalion coming into this game were 9 for 42 and 10th in the league on the power play at 21.4%. So I think Niagara has, with the Battalion scoring a couple of power play goals in this one, the Ice Dogs might have slipped past the 10th mark there that the Battalion occupied coming into this game. So I think the Battalion have leapfrogged the Ice Dogs for sure when it comes to special teams on the power play.
They're 12 for 46 in that count. Meantime, on the penalty kill, they've now only allowed 9 power play goals against on 50 times shorthanded. This will be their 51st time in the box this season. And the Ice Dogs just struggling to move the puck into the zone. They finally dump it in. DiVincentis out of his net to play it. Whips it around the boards, and it clears the zone. 1:20 to play in the power play. 10:50 to go in the period. North Bay lead 8-1. Down the right wing side, carrying it is Dan. Stopped on the half boards and cleared again by Kyle McDonald. You would not think that this was a 4th-ranked penalty kill, or power play, in the league for the Niagara Ice Dogs. Now they come into the zone. Centering pass. Big-time save made as DiVincentis stones him as Dan was set up all alone but could not get the puck past the North Bay netminder. And DiVincentis, like you said, he's only had to make 23 saves in this game to this point now, but some of them have been huge. Some really good opportunities for the Ice Dogs, interspersed by some not-so-good play, but still, 24 shots on net. DiVincentis has had to be big, and he comes up big again as Keane unleashed a shot for the point, and DiVincentis sees that one all the way in.
Yeah, and the Ice Dogs basically took, sounded like they took what you were saying a little bit personally there, as they went in with a grade A scoring chance on DiVincentis in the slot. I mean, it's been established that the Ice Dogs don't like media guys here in North Bay all that much, but, they took what you said a little bit to heart by talking about their power play, and now the Battalion, again, looking great on the penalty kill.
And there they go down the ice. Petrov one-on-one gets taken out of the play on the check from Keane to knock him off his skates and knock him off the puck. And now the Ice Dogs come back in the zone. There's a shot. Save made. Rebound chance. Cleared off the crossbar. And then Zito just buries it into the back of the net with DiVincentis way out of position. It's now 8-2 with 9:31 remaining in this contest.
And I don't think that one's coming on the power play, although it kind of came in what I call like the power play after effect, where it takes some time to kind of regain your footing after the power play, especially when the play's in your zone. But also it was a minor or a mini 5-on-3 power play for a moment after Petrov lost his helmet going down the ice. You have to go off the ice immediately. You can't play without your helmet. So Niagara was able to go down with a 5-on-3. The Battalion just finished that penalty, and before both Petrov and the player that was in the box, Paul Christopoulos, was able to get back into the zone, that's when Niagara struck.
So the Ice Dogs, they take a hard hit behind the net as Hall gets slammed in the boards by, I believe it was Winslow there. The Battalion play it out of the zone and into the Niagara end with 9 minutes to go in this game as it's caught by Rosenzweig, and he holds on to it for a stoppage and play. 8-2 the score. North Bay will take a break.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And we welcome you back into North Bay Memorial Gardens. I can't speak today, apparently. The Battalion hold an 8-2 lead on the Niagara Ice Dogs. 33-27 are the shots on goal. So Niagara coming back a little bit on the shot clock. And then they just have got their second goal of the game just before our mid-period break here. And of course, keep your eyes tuned on this broadcast as Derek's going to take you through the post-game show. Again, your Dave's Automotive 3 Stars of the game will be part of that. And then if you're wondering what's up with the front line for the rest of the week, we got Voodoo's games the next 2 nights in Powassan. Sioux Thunderbirds, Sioux Eagles, back-to-back, Friday, Saturday. We also have Nipissing Lakers hockey tomorrow as well, which you can find on OUA TV.
So Pasquale Cito is the goal scorer for the Ice Dogs on that last goal, as Courtney mentioned, and he's got a 2-goal night tonight. But so too does Jacob Terrian of the North Bay Battalion and Nikita Tarasevich of the North Bay Battalion. He's got a 3-point night, actually, 2 goals and an assist. Matvei Petrov with a goal and 2 assists has a 3-point night, so the points are being spread out all over the ice. As play continues here, it's Arnsby into the far side corner. Brings it in behind the Niagara net. Coming out of the corner, looking for control of the puck. Goes back to the far side, gets knocked down, and Niagara finally knocks the puck away from Arnsby and gets it cleared. 8:15 to go as North Bay leads 8-2. In fact, there's only 6 players for the North Bay Battalion who haven't recorded a point tonight.
That's impressive.
In this lineup. Play inside the North Bay zone. The Battalion get it away from the end boards quickly and dump it down the ice. Wakely plays it in, takes a weird bounce off the end boards, and then Rosenzweig got caught behind the net with 2 Battalion players. He had to clear it out quickly. North Bay have it on the doorstep. It's right to Wakely's stick, but he can't bury it. Rosenzweig was going post to post, never really finding where the puck was, and now it looks like he's favoring his blocker side a bit as Petrov has control of it still inside the Niagara zone. He dishes it off the boards to Tarasevich, who tried to play it to the line, but Lukin came off the blue line, and so he'll have to chase the puck all the way down the ice. 7:15 to play. Lukin through the neutral zone, coming down the left wing side. Lukin drags it in front, and he goes flying as he gets taken out of the play. He dished it off the backhand, but Rosenzweig stood his ground and made a nice save. But Lukin could have really done some damage there. Now they come back in. Wakely with a shot on Rosenzweig, and he holds on to it for a stoppage in play. 6:53 to go, 8-2 North Bay lead. That was a wild sequence.
I'll take defenseman I never expected to see lead the rush for 200 today, Alex. Wow. Alex Lukin adding an offensive flair to his game here a little bit on that one, and he's looked really good on that top pairing for the Battalion, even though he wasn't able to hold the line. Same with Kennedy right there. But him and Nelson have had an act together in this one, so maybe Ryan Houlihan's onto something as he's switching up the D pairings again.
Sent into the Niagara zone, bouncing puck at the circle. Nelson fires it just wide of the net. Ertl has it on the far side boards, plays it to the blue line. Kennedy to Nelson again, The blocker save made by Rosenzweig as it got through. That's 2 Ty Nelson shots from up high in the zone that made it through the traffic, but just didn't beat the goaltender. Another shot from Jackson, and that one's blocked as well. Romani trying to keep it in line. It's knocked off his stick, and down the ice is Dan with the puck into the North Bay zone. Knocked away from him quickly and back out to the neutral zone. 6 minutes to play in the third period. 8-2 the score with North Bay ahead, and really they're just watching the clock tick down. North Bay has scored at least a goal in every period so far in this game. Just one, though, in this period. Played up ahead to Terrien. He's the goal scorer in this period. Terrien steals it up ahead to Sema, who was wide open, but just could not control the puck going in towards Rosenzweig, who then gave Sema a shove to knock him away from the loose puck. 5:29 to go in the third period. 8-2 North Bay lead. The puck inside the North Bay zone. Sent around to the near side boards. They can't clear it. Niagara gets a shot in towards the net. Glove save made by DiVincentis, and now Govro.
Sirazati.
And Sirazati going at it. They've had some words earlier in this game, and now Govro and Sirazati are throwing the right hands. Both guys still on their feet, and Sirazati goes down with Govro on top.
Govro's just going to go right off with 5 minutes left. He's basically done. Same with Sirazati, but I said it in the second period. They knocked into each other. Sirazati stuck out his arm to hit Govro, so I wondered if I said, there's 2 guys on this Battalion team that are going to drop the gloves, and that's Liam Arnsby and Cam Govro. And right there, Cam Govro. If the goals weren't what you came for and paid for, Cam Govro dropping the gloves is certainly one of those things. And really getting the better of Sirazati, and I think Sirazati's probably going to think twice the next time he goes out of his way to antagonize Cam Govro for no reason.
Well, that stemmed from an incident all the way back in the first period, so they really let that one drag out all the way up to the 5:18 mark of the third period before they finally renewed acquaintances and really, that was an old school tilt. There are some good right hands thrown in that one. So play resumes. Govro and Sirazati have been shown the door. And out of the zone come the Ice Dogs. Femus plays it back, but Niagara go offside with Castle coming in as the trailing player.
Paul Christopoulos slides down on the ice, and he's looking for his stick, and he was at the top of the zone. His stick was all the way in the corner where the Battalion go off. He's probably sitting there thinking, how did my stick end up there when I just had it in my hands here? It went flying.
And here's the other interesting thing is, remember the Battalion had 7 D-man to start this game. So now even with Govro going off, yes, they're short-handed in terms of bodies on the ice, but they still have 6 defenders dressed.
Exactly. So on the back end, you're not really losing anything. You can still keep playing your line or your matchups as much as you want.
With 4:25 to go and a 6-goal lead, I think you'll take that. Owen Van Steensel plays it up ahead. The shot stopped. Rebound chance. They score. Van Steensel gets his second of the season. And the Battalion make it 9-2.
Well, you talk about players that haven't had a point yet tonight. Owen Van Steensel was one of those players. He had to score a goal or register an assist, but he set up Dolan Wakely really well on that one. And then Wakely's rebound brought Rosenzweig so out of his net. And the way that Wakely kind of fell with him as well, the puck sat behind Rosenzweig and just sat there on a platter for Owen Van Steensel to be able to drop that one into the back of the net, as that's the second of the season. And he had a great second half last year playing on this Arnsby-McDonald line as well. And now we're seeing some results from that line in this one again.
10 goals, 34 points in 66 games last year for Van Steensel. And now he's up to 2 goals and 4 points this year in 12 games. So you're right, maybe this combination will start to help him drive that offense. And that was a big point for the Battalion last year. There's a chance right in front of the North Bay net as DiVincentis makes a save on FEMA's. Is the fact that that younger group put up some good point totals. Guys like Wakely were over 30 points. Van Steensel was over 30 points. So I don't know if you're going to get that from the first-year group this year, but that second-year group should take that extra leap forward.
Exactly, and that's where they're looking for the offense to come from in this one. And I mean, it's kind of unfair to lump a guy like Romani and all them into it as well, because they're true blue second-year players, whereas Wakely, Van Steensel, Nelson, who was up over 40, almost at 50 points last year.
There's a shot off the draw, and Zito has a hat trick. Right off the face-off, inside. Right off the face-off, inside the North Bay zone, Zito took the puck and fired it through traffic, and DiVincentis just did not see it. And Pasquale Zito has a hat trick, his 6th goal of the season.
Yeah, Zito really looking like to be a thorn in the side of the Battalion if this keeps up last year. Remember, it was David Goyette who scored a hat trick for the Sudbury Wolves against the Battalion early in the season, albeit in a losing cause like this one, but then all year long, he didn't disappear. He just kept scoring goals against the Battalion. And Zito in this one has been very impressive. I mean, anytime you score a hat trick, you're impressive. So, again, just having a great start to the season for the Ice Dogs as well, with 13 points coming into this, or 13 points in 12 games so far.
Pasquale Zito is a big pickup for the Ice Dogs in the offseason. He was drafted by Detroit in the 6th round of the 2021 draft, so 166th overall. But he was Windsor's 2nd-round pick back in 2019, and he had some pretty decent seasons in Windsor. 13 points in his first year in 1920. 42 points last season in just 49 games. And now he's up to 13 points in 12 games. So, depending on how Niagara's season goes, either he's going to be a big point of what helps this team get to the playoffs, or he's going to be a nice piece to trade off at the deadline as a 19-year-old.
Well, that's going to be one thing for Niagara, is they've been coming to this game really sputtering, but on the good news front for them is they haven't been worse than the Sudbury Wolves so far in the division and also in the conference. So if you're able to keep your head above water and, outplay the Sudbury Wolves throughout the season, you're going to be in a good chance here to make the playoffs. So Zito, he could be a good piece for them in the playoffs and be a thorn in a lot of teams' sides as the first round goes.
I don't know if saying, well, we're not worse than Sudbury is really setting the bar higher. There's a chance on that. DiVincentis stops it. Played in behind the net and cleared up to the blue line. LeBanc has it, sends it on net. It's off the butt of Jackson and right back out to the blue line. LeBanc has it there. Plays it into the corner. Femus centering to He, but it's Christopoulos who steals it from Kevin He and carries it around on the near side boards with 2:10 to go. North Bay trying to get it out of that area, and they do. And that's the first hat trick of Pasquale Zito's OHL career. So a couple of firsts in this game. Jacob Terrien with his first OHL goal. Nikita Tarasevich with his first 2-goal night. Pasquale Zito with his first 3-goal night. Into the near side corner in the Niagara zone as Wakely battles there. Tarasevich involved as well. Played in behind the net. Picked up and cleared out to the neutral zone. Tarasevich is there. He'll touch the puck, and that will be called a clear hand pass. That one coming against Turley.
Battalion up to 40 shots on the game. The Ice Dogs up to 34. So DiVincentis making 31 saves in the game. So still a good save percentage for him in this one. And truthfully, outside of Zito, he's looked, who's kind of had his number.
Yeah.
He's looked really good in this game.
Yeah, he's made some big stops. Which, yes, it's a 6-goal game, but some of those came in the second period when, it was 4-1 or 5-1, and if you let one or two of those in, all of a sudden it's a different game. I mean, that team has some momentum, right? Speaking of momentum, Tarasevic bringing it all the way down. Dangles in front of the goaltender, but he just could not beat him. Tarasevic gets his own rebound back. Plays it to the blue line. Shot in. Rosenzweig punches it away. It doesn't go very far. North Bay with a secondary chance, but it's cleared out of the area and now out of the Niagara zone. Played right back in. Tarasevic jumping the gun as he gets just ahead of the line and the puck. And Tarasevic, you know he's looking for the hat trick, as he had a couple of really good chances there.
Yeah, you would have to think he's looking for the hat trick. He's had himself a really good game and someone to really zero in on. Maybe he'll be an upcoming guest on the Frontline podcast. You never know. We had him on once last year after the trade, and for a kid who grew up in Belarus and Russia, very good English.
Down the ice is Winslow towards, check that, Therrien towards the net. But he couldn't get a shot off. 40 seconds to go, and you gotta love the fact that Ryan Olahan is trying to let his guys get out there and boost those numbers. Tarasevic and Therrien getting some ice time late in the game. I don't think that's something that would have happened before Ryan Olahan was head coach of this team. Sent down the ice, 15 seconds to play. As Andrew LeBanc brings it in, there's a hard hit behind the net. Therrien going down, but there's a shot from the blue line, wide of the net. 8 seconds to go. Tipped along the boards on the far side, picked up by Sema. Sema gets out of the zone, 2 seconds, and North Bay have their biggest win of the season with a 9-goal outburst against their Central Division rivals in the Niagara Ice Dogs. A 9-3 finish to kick off 3 games in 3 days this week.
Well, and you know that the Niagara Ice Dogs are going to look for some revenge the next time these two teams meet up. But again, the Battalion doing a lot of good home cooking here as they continue their goal-scoring ways on home ice with a big 9-3 victory. We'll be back on the other side of these messages with the Front Line with our post-game show.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Welcome back to Memorial Gardens, where on this Thursday evening, the Battalion struck for 9 goals, skating away with a 9-3 victory over the visiting Niagara Ice Dogs, the first visit of these two Central Division rivals. Let's take a look at the scoring summaries. It may take me a while to get through all 12 goals. Getting on the board early, 3:36 into the first period, Kyle McDonald, his 5th of the season from Ertel and Petrov. That was a power play goal. Just 26 seconds later, Jacob Therrien with his first OHL career goal put the Battalion up by 2. Jackson and Seema with the helpers on that one. And then before the end of the the first period, at the 17:36 mark, also on the power play, Wakely with his fourth of the season from Ertel and Jackson. The Ice Dogs struck in the second period. Pascal Zito picking up his first of the evening, his fourth of the season. He and Sirazati picking up assists at the 129 mark. Didn't take the Battalion long to get that one back. As 40 seconds later, Nikita Tarasevich, his first of the night, fourth of the season, was the eventual game winner at 2:09. Petrov with the lone assist on that one. 4:48 of the second period, Anthony Romano got on the board, his second of the season. Nelson and Lukin with the assist. Less than a minute later, Petrov with his fifth of the season from Tarasevich at 5:47. Tarasevich with his second of the night at 18:17. Assists going to Liam Arnsby and Anthony Romano. That a power play goal. That was the end of the scoring for the second period of play, as the Battalion had a 7-1 lead after 40 minutes. Both teams striking twice in the third period. Jacob Therrien first with his second of the night, second of the OHL season at 7:51 from Anthony Romano before Pascal Zito, his second of the night, fifth of the season. Keane and Castle with the assist on that one at 10:29. And then the last Battalion goal, the ninth of the evening, Owen Van Steensel, his second of the season at 15:41. And closing out this scoring of this evening, Pascal Zito completing the hat trick at 16:24, making it a 9-3 final here from Memorial Gardens. Taking a look at the shots on goal, pretty even in the third period. Niagara Ice Dogs 16 for a game total of 34. Battalion 14 for a 43 game total. The power play was the difference of the evening. The Ice Dogs 0 for 6 on the man advantage. Meanwhile, the Battalion 3 for 4 on the power play. Face-offs pretty much dead even, with the Niagara Ice Dogs holding a slight advantage, winning 35-34 face-offs, making it a pretty easy win for the North Bay Battalion, 9-3. This just one of the 4 games going on tap tonight, as headed into overtime in Peterborough. The Barrie Colts and the Petes are tied at 3. A final in Saginaw, as the Saginaw Spirit beat the Kingston Frontenacs by a score of 3-2. And the only other game late in the third period, the Windsor Spitfires are leading the Sarnia Sting 5-3. Well, it was quite the event for the North Bay Battalion, and as you would expect, all 3 stars going to the North Bay Battalion.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
Taking a look at the Dave's Automotive, 3 stars of service. 3rd star, Jacob Therrien, picking up his first 2 OHL goals in the victory for the North Bay Battalion. 2nd star, our player to watch tonight for the Battalion, picking up a goal and 2 assists, Matvei Petrov. And the 1st star of tonight, probably, I'm going to say, the best performance I've seen out of this player since coming to the Battalion late last season, Nikita Tarasevich. He was on fire, 2 goals, 1 assist. So let's just summarize again the 3 stars of service. Therrien 3rd, Petrov 2nd, and Nikita Tarasevich 1st. I'd like to bring in Matt Sukram, who had the play-by-play of tonight's contest. Well, Matt, it was not a light night for you calling goals here at Memorial Gardens.
No, it wasn't, but it's always fun when the games end up that way, and, you know, you're right, sometimes it's hard to say that it was an easy win, because there's no such thing as an easy game in the OHL, but when you go out and score 3 goals in the first period and 4 more in the second, that really allows you, both as the players and the coaching staff, to kind of not sit back, but approach the game a little bit differently. You're not out there looking for more goals, really. You're not out there putting yourself in dangerous spots to try and win puck battles. You can kind of let the other team take it to you a bit, but just take care of yourself defensively in your zone. And that's what I saw a lot for the Battalion on the back end of this game, is there were a lot of plays where Niagara was coming in on the rush, and they would get just over the blue line, and the Battalion defender would come in and knock the puck away and get it right back out. And so, yes, while you're not trying to produce as much offense when you're already up by 6 or 7 goals, they were still taking care of their assignments defensively, and that's what's impressive to see.
And also along with that, we had basically an extra D with Turley in the lineup for tonight. And just even beyond that, looking at the back check of some of the forwards, I remember McDonald coming back to break up a 2-on-1, which would have been a pretty obvious goal as he took the stick away. And just the play from Jacob Therrien, who came in tonight with only 6 previous games played.
Yeah, Therrien was a bit of a beast out there. He was getting into some dirty areas. He was taking a lot of hits, but he would get right back up, find a way to get himself involved in the play. I mean, he was right around that trapezoid area when you kind of envision where the good goals come from. He was either behind the net or right set up in front. And while his size doesn't allow for the goaltender to be screened by him, it's the rebounds that the goaltender has to be worried about when Therrien is there. He can get that quick shot off. He's got a nice release, and I was impressed with his play tonight.
And just, you've talked so much about his offensive play. I can recall him out there in the second period. Jacob Therrien, Nick Sema, and Dallin Wakely, they were up against that top line of the Niagara Ice Dogs, Copeland, Phoenix, and Castle. So Ulan had enough
trust, I guess?
In Therrien to have him out there against that top line. So not only was he getting the look offensively, he was also getting that look against some top players in the defensive zone.
Well, that's the other thing that you can do when you have a big lead is you can then go out and test your third and fourth line a little bit and see what they can do against the other team's top lines, right? And yeah, they held their own. They were getting offensive opportunities. They were playing well in the defensive zone against that top line. And these are the games where when you look at the standings and you look at how the teams match up on players, you almost expect the Battalion to win. Maybe not win like that every time, but these are the games that if they're not going to win, they have to give a good effort and expect to be coming away with points out of it, and they certainly did that tonight.
Yeah, but if you want to look at the flip side with the Niagara Ice Dogs, you got to be really excited with that third period of play. They came out, they were down 7-1 at that time, but they tie up that third period 2-2 if you're looking at third period alone. Pascal Zito completing the hat trick and now shooting the Battalion 16-14. There's some positives there if you're the Niagara Ice Dogs.
There are some positives, and that's what you want to take if you're Niagara into your game tomorrow against the Sudbury Wolves. And, Courtney and I talked about it. Those two teams might be fighting each other for a final playoff spot when it comes down to the line. And so with 8 games against a division opponent, you don't want to leave any points on the table. So, yes, take what you did in the third period if you're the Ice Dogs. Give Pasquale Zito the puck as much as he can and see if he can keep popping off these goals. Like I said, that was a big trade for the Niagara Ice Dogs in the offseason to acquire Zito from the Windsor Spitfires. And for him to come over, Detroit Red Wings draft pick, and start to produce. He's up to, 7 goals now on the season already, 13 points in 12 games. So he's a guy that's going to have to drive this offense. I think on the back end, you're looking for a little bit more, but you're probably going to start Josh Rosenzweig tomorrow night. He's not going to come in cold off the bench, and I think they're going to give Sudbury a good game tomorrow.
And you can't fault the goaltenders at all for the Niagara Ice Dogs. From sitting down low, 43 shots on goal.
Yeah.
I'm going to say a good chunk of those, probably close to 30, were from high quality scoring chances, especially from that home plate area right out in front.
Well, that's what I think you, on the flip side, give the credit for the North Bay Battalion for finding themselves in those areas. Like I said, Therrien was always there. McDonald was a guy that was in that area a lot as well. Liam Arnsby was in that area. I just checked the stats. 13 North Bay players recorded at least 1 point tonight, and that's what's going to happen when you give up that kind of space. So if you're the Niagara Ice Dogs, that's the space you want to start to congest in and make it difficult for the opposing team to get there. For the North Bay Battalion, they will easily and they will gladly take that kind of room and space every game. It's not going to happen every game, but those are the areas they want to work in night after night.
I want to talk about special teams quickly. Battalion going 3 for 4 on the power play, or not giving up a goal on the penalty kill 6. I really like that adjustment Houlihan made on that first power play, giving McDonald that front office space in front of the goal, resulting in basically 3 goals. The puck movement on that power play was outstanding.
Yeah, this is something that he changed after the game in Windsor. He didn't like the way that it looked in Windsor. He also tweaked a couple of things on the penalty kill as well. He didn't like that they gave up those two goals on the penalty kill to the Windsor Spitfires, so he changed things up a bit, and over the last 3 games, it has worked phenomenally. You're right, I like the way that they come out, both on the power play and the penalty kill. I mean, they went 3 for 4 on the power play, 6 for 6 on the penalty kill. I mean, this is how you win games in the OHL. If you can take advantage when your team has the man advantage, and if you don't give up any when your team is down by a man, you're going to win a lot of games in the OHL.
And that's so exactly right. The Ice Dogs were coming in with the fourth best power play, but the Battalion capitalizing 9 times tonight, and like you said, 12 different players getting at least 1 point. They're not going to get lots of rest here because they're going to get on a bus tomorrow morning as they load up to head to Hamilton to take on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting rematch as they take on the team that eliminated them from the postseason last year in the Eastern Conference Final. The Hamilton Bulldogs are a completely different-looking team than they were just a couple of months ago, but it's always fun to go up and reignite that rivalry. And then they make their first trip to Erie since the 2019-20 season. So it's a big weekend for the North Bay Battalion. These were the points you needed to get. Now it's a matter of, can you squeak out 2, maybe 3, or can you get 4 more out of this weekend?
And it's the first time the Battalion are playing 3-on-3, or 3-3. Last weekend it was 3-4, so they're getting tested a little more, 3-3. Next home game where you're going to be able to catch the Frontline broadcast is next Thursday, November 10th. That's the Remembrance Day game here for Memorial Gardens. The Guelph Storm will be making their only trip into North Bay to take on the North Bay Battalion. Again, that's next Thursday, November 10th, 7 p.m. But if you can't wait till then to catch hockey action, you can catch the Frontline broadcast. Matt and myself will be with the Nipissing Lakers tomorrow evening as they take on the York Lions. That's a 7 o'clock start. You can catch that on OUA TV, or you can join Ben Long and Courtney Kenny as they'll be down in Powassan as the Sioux Thunderbirds and the Sioux Eagles come into town to take on the Voodoos. Both of those games Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. So there's lots of hockey if you don't want to wait to listen to us next Thursday for the Frontline broadcast. Matt, it's always great having you on the call and great hearing you give those 9 calls out tonight.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but you know what? This is why we're here. This is what we love to do. So, yeah, 9 goals. That's a season high for the North Bay Battalion. That might be a tough number to beat, but they have done it before, so we'll see what's in store for the rest of the season.
Well, thanks a lot, Matt, to Courtney Kenny, who's down getting coaches' comments, for our producer, Ben Long, myself, Derek Lindemann. Until we can do this again sometime, have yourself a great night. Make the final again here from Memorial Gardens, Battalion 9, Niagara Ice Dogs 3.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.